What's going on? What's going on, guys? What's happening? Let's jump on this. Check our audio. Let's see what happens here. Oh, yeah. We are live. What's going on, guys? Oh, yeah. Let me know if we're sounding good out there to you guys. I see everybody's jumped in there. Meow mix meow. Nice tongue twister. Hi. Lucky Mo, what's going on? Renee Von Oosterhout is in there. Miss Heard, hello, good to see you in there. James Cregan, what's going on, brother? Noodles, what's happening? Ian Wentworth is in the house. I am doing good. Ian, I hope you're doing good as well. Hello, Chris and everyone. Rolando, what's going on? I think last time you tried to make it, you said you either didn't make it or something like that, but good to see you in there. So hi, Chris and gang. We are free from the COVID-19 in Azores. That's good to hear, man. It'll start declining. Everybody will be better. Guarantee it. Mimi Reacts, how are you this evening? Good to see you in there. Well, you're past evening, but yeah, you get the idea. For me, it's evening, early evening. And I think just jumped on me, as usual. Todd Burdett, what's going on? What's going on there, neighbor? You said hi to all from West by God, Virginia, Charleston. Good to see you in there, neighbor. Photography Light Magic, what's happening? Johnny Prod says, hello, Chris. Hello, everybody. Brazil is in cold weather today. And I need to say, UFO on the SpaceX deploy part, amazing. Is he having his the same time, Miss Heard? You said, wish Alien Hunter and Chris were not live at this very same time. Does he have normally like the same one at this time, or is he it's just a random thing? Just curious. Bush Corey, what's happening? Good to see you in there, man. Robert Morgan's in the house. Hi, everyone. Long time no see. Yeah, it's true. Good to see you in there. Third eye open. I can only do one of these at a time, LOL. Okay, you responded to Miss Heard. Photography Light Magic. Hey, guys, I have uploaded the reconstruction and enhancement of the Sol 184. The link's further back in the chat. Okay, cool. Put this up here. Somehow this thing jumped on me here, but let's go back down. Not seeing it in there. Let me see where... I didn't see the links there. Maybe I'm missing them. Let's see. Pete Ferrero, what's going on? He said, howdy, Chris, from Buffalo, New York, where 57 policemen just resigned their duties on crowd control. I seen that. That's a... Man, don't even get me started. Unbelievable. I seen that, and I was just like, wow. So instead of getting fired, and they wouldn't be able to work at another police station, we'll just go ahead and resign and hope for the best. Mimi Rash has smashed that like button. Yeah, anytime you guys jump in there, just when you're getting on a live feed, if you're just boom, takes a second just to hit that thumbs up. Always appreciate it. And it's not about it being so much appreciated, but it just tells YouTube to share it more, because the more likes it gets, it's like an algorithm type thing, and it just goes by it. And it would just, it just shares it more, that's all. Which is a good thing. That's what we want, right? I hope I am, Renee Vaughn, because I'll tell you what, sometimes it's like the way it runs off my tongue. It's like, it sounds like I'm saying it wrong. So I find myself like kind of stuttering your name trying to get it right. Because I hate to disrespect somebody on their last name and totally butcher it, you know what I'm saying? It happens. It's like, yeah. Oh, okay, Miss Here, you said it was random? Okay. I thought maybe he had his own show. I said, well, I'll readjust so everybody can get to see mine, his, or vice versa. Whatever one first doesn't really matter. That would have been good, Renee Cruz, I was on the True Be Told radio, but I left because you were finally on. I appreciate that, Renee. Noodles, I have 2 chats on the go. Yeah, I could do the same. They just put like a couple of chats on at a time, and a couple of computers, so it's all good. Mike Knapp, what's going on? You say, hi, Chris. How's things? Doing well here, Mike. I hope you're doing well as well. Raquel Jostem, good morning from, is that supposed to be Australia, I guess? Gotta get this thing a little bigger here. I like to try to make the chat just a hair bit bigger if I can on this, because this monitor is a hair bit further away from me. So, try to make a hair bit bigger. Where did it just go? Photography Light and Magic, you said, Chris, you might want to review the panel with the troops tonight. It's freaking amazing. I didn't see the links in there, Photography Light and Magic. Did you drop it? You're the one that said you just dropped it up further up the chat? Because I didn't see it. Let's see. Light Me Watches in the house. What's going on? He said, hi, Chris, and all. Alan Keene, how are you? He said, how are you? I'm doing well. Hope you're doing good, Alan. Whoops, why did this thing jump on me as usual? Whoops. There it goes. Alien Tenno, what's going on? He said, hi, Chris. Hi, all. Bushcore, you said, Chris, or you asked, Chris, do you think when NASA put these photos out to the public, they think, damn, Chris is going to catch us out on one of these? Well, you can almost bet that some of them actually watch it just for the hell of it. Now, you don't know whether they're saying, oh, we'll take it serious or not, but here's the thing. If they're looking at it, they're probably saying, let's see what he's finding, or other people are finding. It's not just me. Other people are finding in these photos, and let's see if we're doing a darn good job of trying to hide this stuff and see what happens. And who knows, right? But you can probably, you can probably bet they're probably going, let's see if you can find this stuff this time. Let's see. Yeah, I'm still looking for that link. I can't find the link. Maybe get help for review. Let me go back up here a little bit. See, I'm not even seeing the links here. Oops, let me go back up here. Let me do it this way. Maybe that'll be better. Somehow it changed on me from the top chat to live chat. We don't want top. Okay, let me go back now. Maybe it'll be in there. No. Yeah, I'm not seeing it here. Drop it again if you can. Photography Light and Magic. I definitely want to check it out. I mean, I'm already taxing the hell out of this computer. I got another video I'm doing here, and it's doing its thing, and it's funny when I try to go over a pan and I'm moving, you can see the whole screen kind of like, not flickering, but kind of like it's like kind of wavy. Funny as hell. We will be upgrading this computer too. A lot more memory. Good computer. It's like a gaming computer, but still want as much memory as you can get in this thing. Noodle says, I'm glad you're all here. Cheers. Pete Ferrero, you said your last vid of Mars was very revealing what NASA does to hide things in pictures. Yeah, you can just see how the rocks in the foreground were like, you can see that they modified those. Now, I said that the rocks were probably done first, and of course the background. It doesn't really matter, right? Because either way you look at it, you had that like weird glow around the edge, which was telling me that they didn't have the background completely up against the rock. We didn't completely, modify it, but it seems to me like the rocks were redone and then overlaid onto the photo, or they were just done and somehow they had that little kind of ghostly white edge around it, right? So that's the way I look at it. The way the background was done, 2D, nothing there to see, until you start bringing out the lines, and although we can't see anything solid, you can see the damn lines. All of a sudden, these things got height to them, and they're not just simple flat ground there. There's actually stuff in this photo. They are definitely hiding things in the background of many of those photos. Oh, yeah, Mimi, I'm not even surprised because, like I said, I just showed that last video, showed like that background was actually part of, you can see through the rock. So, yeah, no doubt. He said, Chris, I found a see-through stone on a gigapan, quality NASA photoshopping. Pretty much. Let's suppose something's this small, right, in a pan, and they want to go over the whole thing so you can't see it. So they make it much larger over it. So the actual object is going to be solid. In other words, you're not going to see through the fake rock overlay, and then, because the object is still solid behind it. But anything they went around, like the extra space around it, you probably see right through it because it's not pretty much not solid. And that was evident from the video I did. I showed you guys. I mean, how does a background and how go through the back of a rock? How can you see the background through the rock? It doesn't make any sense. New chaotic order. You said Trump might release alien existence during all this. I don't know if I'd hold my breath on that, but it would be interesting to finally somebody break this. You know what I mean? Either another country or something. Just come out with it. You know what I'm saying? That's the way I look at it, right? To unite us all again. Well, I think we need it. We need to know that we're a human race instead of breaking up, instead of being conquered and divided and conquered from our government. Think about that. One way or the other, if the last thing they want to do is have a whole society get together and accept each other as brothers and sisters because we all bleed red. So they don't want that because you can, all come together and stand against the government. They don't want that. So it's divide and conquer. That's why you see all this BS going on with all of this, racism, this, that, and the other, and all kinds of stuff we can get into. But it's just sad all the way around. We need to stop making a stand and saying, let's start accepting each other as a human race. That'd be fine. That'd be awesome. Yeah, I mean, I'm not even seeing it. Let me see. What you can do, photography, if you want. I don't know if you've been on my Facebook page, my Mars Anomalies Facebook page. If you've got Facebook, drop it in there in a message because I'll get it here on my phone, and then we'll go ahead and download it and check it out there, right? Because I'm not seeing the links. Anybody else see the links from Photography Light Magic? Am I missing it? Sometimes it'll say hell for review, and then it'll have the link in there, and I'm not even seeing that. That's what's crazy. I'm not even seeing it. And I've been up and down this chat, and I haven't been able to see it. Rodney Evans, what's going on? You said, hi, Chris. Started the day off with your video this morning. It's all good. Well, I appreciate that, Rodney. I didn't even hear about that, Renee. You said there was a stowaway mouse on the Dragon SpaceX. It was hitchhiking a ride to the moon made of cheese. Renee, you said, Renee Vaughn, you said, my shirt is on the way yesterday. Had confirmed by mail. Can't wait, Chris. Oh, I appreciate that, Renee. Thank you for your support, right? That's awesome. Yeah, I was going to put mine on today. I ended up wearing this one here. I was like, well, either way, it's all good, right? Let me see. Here we go. I had another show because it says Hell for Review. I hit a show and it was Renee Cruz putting all these little emojis up there. But Lucky Molly said, I wonder if NASA spy who is in this chat is the same one who leaves the Easter eggs in the rover. It's hard to tell. Again, it makes you wonder because you guys have asked the same question, right? You're saying, well, why would they hide some things and then expose other things? In other words, not cover them up. I mean, I can only come up with two options. One, they're not very good at what they do, which I find it hard to believe because if they laid off 250 CGI people in their department, how many people do they really got working there? I find it hard to believe they're that stupid. Think about it. So, and not everybody's going to miss this. I just find it hard to believe. So the other option is it's like slow drip disclosure. That's the only other option I can think of. You guys got a better idea? I mean, what do you think they're doing there, right? I mean, do you guys agree or do you think it's something else? I'm not sure of that name. He said, hey, greetings from the Ukraine. What is your opinion on released videos of UFOs from the Pentagon? Nobody seemed to care. I don't know. It was a big hype as far as I'm concerned. You know, and the idea is everybody thinks it's a step closer to disclosure. Although not long after that, they were saying, well, it's probably the Navy's technology, which, you know, again, take away the idea of a UFO. And I don't know about you guys, and there's another part I'm going to share with you guys. And you guys, we've talked about this, I think, a little bit in depth. And I think we actually did. But I put 3 pages together to show you this. This is pretty cool. But it's kind of like if they were to admit the fact that they have UFOs. Think about this a minute. So there's another alien race out there, or there's many, whatever there may be. And suddenly your government doesn't seem so powerful, doesn't seem so big anymore, right? Because there's something much larger out there instead of just us. So now it's almost like they're afraid to admit it. And if they do, they will look a lot smaller. If they don't divide and conquer us people, we all get together as a whole, we may rebel against them saying, listen, we want what we want. We want the information. We want this, that, and the other. Because now all of a sudden you don't view your governments, which are supposed to be powerful and all, basically in control. And I don't know if you guys remember that way back, what was it, in the 50s or something, like 40s or the 50s, where they had UFOs over the White House. And, of course, the last thing they want people to see is that, because then they think, oh, my God, we're literally not as powerful as we want everybody to believe. Because now there's something much larger out there, and there's a bigger community of humanoids or humans, whatever it may be, right? So what do you guys think about that? Do you think they hide it for that reason or something else? I mean, I cared about it. And the fact that these guys are coming forward about, the Tic Tac UFO, because they had some on the West Coast, they had some on the East Coast. And then, of course, all over the world you're seeing these things. So I think it's about time that they just spill the beans. Yes, there's other people out there besides us. Just get it over with, man. Jean Ward, what's happening? It's good to see you there, brother. Doing good work, man. Keep it up. Hello, everybody. Good to see you all, usual suspects. From my last video, you can see I'm a hippie. I'm becoming a hippie. Not really. Barbershop was still closed here in South Africa. Oh, it's all good, man. You're not the only one in that boat. A lot of people are in that. So it's pretty funny. You're in the same boat as everybody else, John. No doubt about it. But I've been checking out your videos lately. Pretty good stuff, brother. Keep it up. Let me see. Renee Cruz, you said I saw a long-eared bunny rabbit on Mars. Somebody else had said that too not long ago. They said it looked like it had the ears and everything else. It must have been that. I'm not sure if that's older photo where it shows like it's like the only thing in that one area and it looks like a bunny rabbit with the big ears, or was that another photo? Maria Nordermer. Nordermer, I'm sorry. I just want to make sure I get it right if I can. Top Hangout, nice people. I appreciate that, Maria. Glad to have you in there. I think you were in there last week, weren't you, or the week before? Kenny Riley, what's happening? He said, hi, Chris. What do you reckon to Elon Musk SpaceX? I think they're doing a great job. I love the idea that they're now doing this. Basically, these are test runs, right? Even though they were still able to get people up to the ISS regardless. But it's the new spacecraft that they're using. And if they can use it over and over again, because he's got reusable rockets, it's all good. And the more tests they do on it, it's like, because these are like really break-in tests, if you will, right? They're just like testing these things out, making sure everything's good. I love the technology on them things. I mean, it's all like far from what like the Apollo missions where they had switched, yaw and roll, toggle switches and momentary switches and all this other crap. Now they're like, do, all soft touch. And technology's come huge distance. So I'm glad they're doing this more and more because it's just any bugs they got to work out. Of course, they got redundancies and everything else on these things. But I love the fact that they're going to perfect these things. So the chance of anything going wrong when they do actually go to Mars, less chance of it. So I think it's awesome. Alien 10, oh yeah, that's a trip. Imagine alien disclosure and they are white. Oh, the shit show would ensue. Well, I mean, yes and no. I mean, but that would be weird because, can you imagine if they came down and they were like multiple race of people, kind of like what we have here on Earth? That'd be even more mind-blowing. It'd be like, what? So, I do have, who just asked that? That was pretty funny. Oh, you sent it over there to the email? All right. I thought it was going to be on the Facebook. I got you now. Let me see here. Let me do this. Give me a minute, guys. All right. Let's go to... I'm not going to find it because I want to now. This thing is so small in here, I can't even see it. There it goes. All right, let's see what we got here. Okay. Okay. See if this thing loads here. All right, let me see. Yeah, I'm just getting it now. See what we can do here. Let me see. Well, I appreciate that, Jean. You said, thanks, Chris. Still putting out good stuff, man. Yeah, I tell everybody to bounce over to your channel. You're doing good work. I love the idea that we're doing ground, you're doing satellite a lot of times. So it all comes together like a puzzle piece kind of thing. Although I don't believe a lot of these, we've done, me and a buddy of mine, we've done like a comparison with some of the satellite photos right from where the Curiosity is right now. You do a lot of different areas and stuff like that. And then we've checked it out, and a lot of times they differ. Because people say, hey, you ever do a satellite view of that? But when we try to do that, the mountains and ridges don't look like anything like the ground. So I'm like, it's kind of weird. But the fact that you're doing these things and showing some awesome stuff, what looks like megalithic stones and stones on top of stones that just don't look natural, they're more, look like intelligently put, that's awesome. So I love that it kind of like offsets each other, and that's what I think is great. So, yeah, like I said, I tell everybody, if everybody says, oh, man, you ought to check out John Woods, and I always say, yeah, absolutely, go check his work out. Doing good over there. Let me see. I think it's still not loading. What's the deal here? Let me go over here, see if it... Okay. Let's see. 420 Alien, didn't even see you in there. I'm calling MIB on all of you. Hello, I smashed the like button. I like that. Yeah, if you guys haven't hit the like button, the thumbs up, go ahead and hit that up for me if you don't mind. Clerks 93, what's going on? Yeah, I mean, well, I've seen people actually do a Clerks 93. He said doesn't let people post links, only Chris, I believe, which is really weird because I would have thought, because it seemed to me they used to do that, right? Is that what they're saying now, John? They're saying that the government says virus is spread through smoking? Unbelievable. I mean, I guess in a sense, if you got it in your breath or whatever, but that's usually spread from like if you're spitting or whatever the heck, actual contacts. So I don't know how true that is, but whatever. It's always something just to keep you in fear. That's what it's all about. Stephen Wagney said, "Hi, Chris. Your opinion on the recent show about the near-Earth object that showed up on a video? Well, that was a close one. The near-Earth object that was not talked about at all. All up lighting up the sky. Now, was that the one that was supposed to be like the size of the Empire State Building? Because I never did catch that. Somebody said it was supposed to go by. What was it? Yesterday, the other day? Might have been the other day or 2 days ago. I thought that was pretty interesting." What's going on, James? Appreciate you, man. You said, "Hi, Chris. Just checking in with you and great people of the Hangout tonight. Just want to get the guys at CGI a few fake rocks for the next photo." Great work again from you this week. Well, I appreciate it and appreciate your support as usual. Yeah, let's get them some fake rocks. They can analyze that. Oh, let me get this back over here. Oops. Where is this thing anyway? For some reason, it's not loading on my computer, that photo. I downloaded it and everything, photography, and it's saying loading, and it's just sitting there. So I don't know what the hell the deal is on that. Any other time, boom, just anything I download just opens right up. Let's see what we're going to do here. Let me do that. Do you need to? I love how you got to jump through all kinds of hoops to get something done here. I don't want to register for this crap either. I'm good. Who has the Gigapan? Do you know? Who'd you say had that photography? If you have a direct link to that particular photo on the web, be cool. And for some reason, it's not opening on my computer. And like I said, every time I download it, boom, and it says no preview available. But when I hit it, it downloaded and won't open. So I don't know what the dilly is here. Let me see. I'll click on it again. It's just saying opening, loading, but it's not doing anything. Kind of strange. I had to go back now. 786 Auto. Glad to see you made it in, brother. Glad to see you in there because I haven't seen you in a couple weeks, I think it was, right? Merry Christmas, Chris. Well, a little early, but I appreciate you. And I do appreciate your support, as always. Yeah, it's... oh, okay. Photography. You said it's 300 DPI. Okay. But still, it still should have loaded like that quick. For some reason, it's not doing it. We just have to see what happens. I'm going to wait for it and see what it does. Oh, not there. Do it here. Yeah, it's still saying loading for some reason. I don't understand what's going on with that. It never does that. Yeah, Pete, I did see it. You said Jimmy Roberts did an interesting vid on sizing of the objects. Did you see it? Agree with it? I'm not so sure if they're 100% accurate, but he is pretty darn close because the way he's trying to, of course, he's got his wife in there. It's pretty funny. But the way he's got it set up, he's trying to do like the ruler type thing and give you guys a really good idea. I don't know if it's 100% correct, but at least he's trying his darndest to get it darn close. I applaud him for that because it's hard to get any scaling on these things. You guys know that. If they were used to be the way they used to be, they used to have either a centimeter, a meter, inches, whatever the heck it might have been, they used to have on the photos way back in the day. Now, good luck trying to find one. So now you got to try to figure this crap out for yourself, and that's what's kind of lame, you know. Tim Houston, you said good morning all from the freezing land of Oz, where cigarettes are $30 for a pack of 20. Yee, that ain't good. That is not good at all. Renee Vaughn, you said, yeah, I agree with you. You said, it's amazing work with Jean, shows up. Good work, Jean. Yeah, I mean, he does. I mean, it's, I like the idea because, like I said, it's a different perspective. It's satellite views, or at least most of them are, which are awesome. And you can see some things you can just go, oh, come on, clearly that's not even natural. It's like any of the photos like I show. Some of these things could be borderline natural, and they might be, some people may lean towards natural, and that's fine. But then there's some things you just go, oh, clearly that doesn't look natural. It looks like it's definitely intentionally done, made, whatever, right? Whether it's rocks put in a certain position, like almost like a Stonehenge or whatever it may be, or something that looks like it's been built. I mean, there's no other way around it, right? Oh, okay. I got your photography. It's a massive file. It may take some time to download. Well, I've already downloaded. It was like Instamatic as far as like it's saying loading, and it's just not loading. The file, it took me I don't think it took me 2 seconds to get the file. But for some reason, it's just not loading. I'll leave it there and see what happens. See if it'll load up for me. I thought maybe somebody had it on there. Had it on their Gigapan, like Neville or somebody. I could just go right to the page and just click on it. And we could just have a look at it. Where are the cigarettes? You said the land of freezing land of ours, Tim. Because I'm thinking my buddy, he lives over in the Bronx, and he's paying like $15 to $17 a pack of cigarettes. I'm like, listen, buddy, I would have quit smoking a long time ago. Yeah, there's no way. Kenny Riley said, have they got a drone on Mars? Still won't tell the truth. What's there? I don't think they would anyway. But they do have the, I'm trying to think now if that other, I think the other one already had taken off, the 2020 Rover, which is going to be on Mars in 2021. And it has a helicopter. And I think, it's got a helicopter going up there. It's going to, I think it flies for like 7 minutes. Might be a little different now because they might have improved it or whatever. It's going to fly on its own. It's going to just be able to, according to NASA, be able to help guide the actual rover and navigate through rocks, which I don't understand that because the other one up there now, the 2012, works just perfectly fine. Don't have an issue with it. But yet, suddenly this one needs it. No, this is to get up, as far as I'm concerned, to get up and over things that the rover cannot, or get into, let's say the rover pulls up to something like, we're just going to throw a speculation here. It's a structure that's battered and it's like torn down. This thing can get up and fly into it or just go up and over it and actually have a good look at it. And then it's supposed to just download its information to the rover, and then from the rover to the orbiter and back to Earth to the DSN, the Deep Space Network, kind of like what you see in the dish here. But to me, it can actually go directly to Earth too, because we've talked about that too, where a lot of these photos go directly to 3 computers at the DSN Space Network. And so to me, it's just like these guys are really going to be checking this stuff out. And I think, like I said, there's this covert thing going on like Black Ops, and then there's, the PR thing like you and I see. Just a watered down garbage, right? Photography, like, man, I got PTSD just doing shopping. Yeah, you're not kidding. Grant McGowan, what's going on? He said, hi, Chris. Good to see you. I'm back from work. Hope you're well. I'm a bit late. Sorry. No, you're fine, Grant. I'm glad you had made it in there, right? Yeah, you got to do what you got to do, man. Work first, right? Work first, play later. Stephen Porter, what's going on? You say, hi, Chris. Any news on the mini shuttle mission that the U.S. No, see, that's what I'm saying. They'll launch this thing. What's the X-37 or whatever it is? They'll launch these things, and then boom, you don't hear another thing about it. Oh, it's going on a top secret. This saying it's like something for do. I forget what it was supposed to be about now, because you like hear about it for like 1 day or 2 days. You don't hear another thing about it, and yet it's out there for 2-3 years at a time, doing tests. So, yeah, I think there's a lot more to it than that, right? Oh, now it's not even saying loading. It's just a blank page. That is just bizarre. Let me see something here. Okay. It says paint. I tried to open it a different way too because it wouldn't open the first way. But anyway, it says cannot open this file. It's not a valid bit file or format is not currently. So what? Give me a break already. What format is that in? You know, off the top of your head? Alien Tenno, you said things I've noticed on the Rover is that there's a very little impact damage on them. Well, the bits, we can see it, that is. Don't you find that strange? A little bit. But, I mean, there really shouldn't be a whole lot of damage anyway, except for maybe the only thing I can think of is like maybe the Opportunity and the Spirit, where they came down like in these giant air balloons, right? And they're basically like almost like airbags, if you will. So bouncing around, and then of course they came to a rest, and then they opened up and they come off the platforms. But the other one was brought down by a sky crane, which it's not like they have these really good suspension on them, right? It's not like big 4-wheel drive. Where it has all the kinds of shocks and suspension and everything else. So I think it had to be like literally just dropped real easy. But the other ones, yeah, you would think those things would be banged up quite a bit, but they must have been pretty darn robust not to be able to do that. Dark Chalk, what's going on? Good to see you there, man. Again, I'm seeing your Ukrainian name, but I just can't make out what that is. But I'm going to say, just ask a question, right? Chris, what happened with the whole story about this cigar-shaped UFO? Is that the one you're talking about with the, was back when it was the Soviet Union, where they had the Phobos 2, I think it was, because they had the two Phobos spacecraft. First one, I think, was, and I might have it reversed, so forgive me if I'm wrong on this, but the first one, it flew by and never did, actually stop. I don't know if we're supposed to orbit around Mars or, and then the second one was supposed to go around Phobos, the moon itself. And while it was circling around it, suddenly their last photo, they lost communication with it. And then the last one was, the photo they got was like a shadow on the moon, the Phobos moon. And that was the last time they ever heard of the actual, well, I'm going to say orbiter because it was. And that was the last time they heard of it, which I find really interesting. And if it's true, I like the way they did that because they literally showed the picture. There's a live video out there showing that. They said, yeah, this is what we found. Of course, it's in that language. But you can use the closed caption and hear, see what they're saying and stuff like that. So I found it really interesting, and I don't doubt it. Somehow I don't doubt it. Oops. Darn, I hate it when it does this. Okay, I got you, Phil. Photography. Well, wait a minute. Okay. Hold on. I was thinking the very same thing. It was probably in a different format, so let me see here. This computer's a little slow opening up the Adobe there, but we'll just see what happens. Let me get rid of that. Oops. Okay. All right, got it in there. Problem is, I got to get it to this computer. Let me see here. All right, let me just go back into here. Yeah, you're right. It did open up in the regular Photoshop, which I had a feeling it probably would. That was my next question. I was just going to go ahead and just open it there. But, yeah, I did open it. Joey McDonald, thank you for your support. I do appreciate you. Thank you very much. What'd you say about cigarettes? Towards cigs, Big Chris. I don't smoke. Thank God for that. Man, I tried them things. I don't know about you guys, but man, like your friends are like, you ought to try these. Back in high school, I took a couple of drags. I think I'm good. They're like, man, what do you, don't worry. You're coughing, man. You'll be all right. No, it doesn't belong in your lungs. It's the reason why your body's reacting that way. Don't smoke it. So I'm good. Robert Morgan's in the house. John Ward, you said the drone needs Elon batteries. Well, especially the new ones that are coming out, right? Yeah, I mean, it's going to have its own, I think it's got its own little photo cells, which is really weird. When I first heard about it, they said it was going to be kind of like, like the wireless chargers you have for your phone, right? It was supposed to be similar to that on the actual, the actual deck of the Rover. And now, if you look at it, and I've had videos about it, where the copter's pretty darn big, right? It's literally on the actual propellers, right? And, or the rotors, call them what you want. But they're on the top of that. I'm thinking to myself, that's kind of goofy. So I can't imagine, when the way they claim that it doesn't get much sunshine, but yet these little tiny solar panels are going to actually charge it up enough to fly for 7 minutes. Think about that a minute. These things are not very, I don't care how good the actual, solar panels are. I mean, they're not very big. I don't think they're that big at all. Have you guys seen that, or is it just me? Because I'm looked at them saying, that doesn't even make sense. Let me see here. Let me see if I can do this. Oh. Yeah, right now I can't even, well, because I'm in the middle on this computer, I can't really do anything with it on this one, photography. But what I might do, and I was thinking about doing this, was doing another Hangout before next Friday. So we may do it on that, because I do have it. I do have it in Photoshop now, but it's on that computer. And because we're actually doing things on here, and I have to go through all the crap on this computer, it's like, I already had one kind of picked out, and I'm going to show you to you shortly. But I do have that now, which is good. Now, I was just looking it over. What did you see in there? Because I just looked at it briefly here. Now, I'm seeing, it almost looked like a spirit photo. Is that Curiosity? Which I believe that it is. I'm loving the work they did on this background. What the heck was that all about? Now, did you say you enhanced that, or is that just the raw, quote-unquote, raw photo? I can see some of these things are crazy. On the left in the background, you can see where they definitely doctored that up. Renee Vaughn, I'm the same way. You said, I'm really curious about the new Rover with this helicopter. Yeah, I'm curious to see what's going to happen on this thing, because I want to see what kind of photos they're going to really show, right? Because something tells me they're not even going to show the aerial view. Think about it. If it can go pretty high up in the air, because you're talking 7 minutes flight, right? If it can go up pretty high, then it ought to be able to take a really great picture of that Rover, right? Let's see if they show that. Let's show if they show an aerial view or not. I'd be curious to see how those photos come out. And if they do take it with the Curiosity, you can bet they're going to doctor up all the area around it and everything else and make it look good. And Alien Tenor, you said, I think Earth has moved a few degrees. A lot of new objects are off point. Are you talking about like the rocks and stuff, meteors and stuff? Nothing would surprise me, right? It's here. You said, how's the weather, everyone? We are up to 96 degrees in central Arkansas. We are at 87 with a heat index of 94 right now. And only because we had thunderstorms earlier. We had thunderstorms yesterday. But the power went out a couple times, and if it happened right now, we wouldn't even flinch. We'd be here. We'd be no problem. Unless, of course, some 18-wheeler drove over a pole or something like that, knocking the internet out completely. Yeah, we wouldn't have any problem. Aram, you said, what is going on tonight? What is the topic? We're basically just taking on, we're just talking about, about the comments in the comment section and answering any questions that might be on there right now. Chris Cragen, I'm thinking Chris Cragen's, I'm reading my name right after yours. James Cragen, rather. Chris, the clearly visible structures in the Mars video this week look very like the ones in the South American jungle, big time. I mean, honestly, Chris, I can see them without Photoshop. Well, that's what it is. Once you get your eyes adjusted to the lines in them, it's almost like, even though they're like, if you just use a raw photo, it's hard to see them. But once you see them, it's almost like hard to unsee them. It's kind of like you can just see them now in the background. And yeah, really, really crazy stuff. Photography, you said the last video was cool. I had a look, and the rocks are actually a complete structure. They made of like rocks. They're made to look like rocks. Yeah, absolutely. All right, let me see here. Well, yeah, I mean, I've already, like I said, it instantly opened up in Photoshop. The thing is, I just don't, I have it on this computer, two separate computers, and I need to get it onto the other one. And I said, well, at this point, I got other things on there. I got the other one that I want to show. So, now you got me thinking, maybe we'll do another Hangout. Noodles, you said my screen gets 1 meter by 60 centimeters. Jean Wood. And in today's vid, I saw a part of a segmented container. Huh. Yeah, guys, I'm going to try to get back up there. Let me see here. Let me do this here. No, I got you, photography. I got you. Like I said, I mean, I got it open, and I know what you're saying now. I can open up a raw file. I just, at the moment right now, like I said, I'd have to shut everything off on here, go through all of this, and have to go through all that. This computer's easy because I'm receiving or I'm watching what you guys are watching right now. So I can easily go in there. I'm not going to interrupt the feed is what I'm saying. So by doing it on this computer, I'm not interrupting the feed at all. So I'd rather do it on there so I'm looking at it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I have it for next time. And we may do like maybe another day sooner, like maybe on a Monday or something like that, do a Hangout, or a Tuesday, do an extra one just to go over maybe one or two of these pans. So don't give up, I promise. We're good here. We got it. See, but it didn't say when you download it, it didn't even say, let me see if I can see if it even says it because it's so small on this page. It's saying right here, it's saying JPEG. So it's not even, so right off the bat, I thought, okay, it should be instantly just open right up. At least on the side, because it says, it's got the whole, of course, the whole file name, and then it says JPEG after it. First thing I thought of, it should open right up immediately, right? So when you say it's a raw file, and I still didn't even need to unpack it, it just literally opened up in my Photoshop instantly. So that's not an issue as far as getting it and opening it. Lancemus Blanco, what's going on? Good to see you in there. Steve Pelt, I agree with you. You said, I doubt they will show these drone pics. And if they do, like I said, they'll be up and over the rover and won't be too much space around the rover. They're just going to say, yeah, look, we're flying over the rover. And they're not going to see anything of any value. They'll probably move the rover out to the middle of somewhere where you won't see anything, and they'll just take a photo of it. Of course, there'll be nothing to see. But I'd be curious to see if they're going to be really clear photos or if they're going to be trash. Think about that a minute. So we'll see what happens. Because if they make one it's like pristine, oh, yeah, look at the pictures it can take. And then after that, you see nothing but garbage photos, then you know it's just a bunch of crap, right? Lancemus, you said, hey, peeps, late, but here. Well, that's all that matters. Yeah, that would be good, Grant. You said shame this drone won't be flying over Cydonia. Oh yeah, I mean, all of these crafts, and I'll show you a picture of this. I think I had it. No, it wasn't this one here because this is what we're seeing here. What the heck was it? Well, I showed you before where you had all of the craft, the landers, and everything else, and you had like the Cydonia area, and everything was like basically right there at the equatorial region. And all of these landers and anything else they either put rovers or landers are all south of it, and of course they're east and west of it because although it's showing it one area, it doesn't mean it's not a very wide swath right around Mars. But the point is they're right below all that area, and a lot of those rovers and landers were right there underneath that area, just south of it. Again, funny how they just decided to do. Well, they said there was a couple explosions there, and they just happened to be there. And this goes back how long? So they probably knew about this a long, long time ago. Yeah, whose was that had the explosion on one of theirs? One of them exploded, I know that. Ron Conrad Jr. said first time live streamer. Can't stay long. Well, I'm glad you're here anyway, Ron. Good to have you aboard, man. Pete, you said it seems to me NASA spends as much time to hide as it does to find. Well, probably longer. You can bet on it because it's got to go through all of this. Once they get that raw photo from Mars, and then they're getting them, and then all of a sudden they have to put them through the CGI department. From what I heard, they're like 30 days behind. In other words, whatever they take a picture now, you'll see that next month. Although if you were to look at the raw photo imaging section in NASA JPL, it's like, oh yeah, today's photo is this. Well, it's not today's. It's probably 30 days ago. And they're just 30 days behind. Gives them plenty of time to alter, do whatever they got to do these photos, and then they can get them out to the public. What's going on there, Les Sweet? Good to see you in there. Thank you, Miss Haird, for your donation. I appreciate you and your support. Number one fan. That's supposed to be a pair. What is that dancing? Pretty funny, though. But as usual, thank you for your support. I do appreciate you. Yeah, Steve, and I totally agree with you. It's frustrating because, again, they were supposed to be, from the way they described the cameras on the rover, supposed to be able to take high-definition video as well as photos. I'm not seeing either or. Some of these photos are pristine, look great. If they're using the cam, and like cams will work good. Anything up close, they seem to be really pristine photos. Anything outside of that, if they just look out or around, forget it. Absolute trash. And I've never seen a real video, HD. All I've seen was photos stitched together. Like in the one we had done, we had covered one about the Opportunity rover. And they were basically just photos in, progression, just ran like a video. But, yeah, complete crap. Let me jump all the way down here. Gamer 2020 says we are from Mars, and that could be very good possibility. Timothy Pendleton, what's going on, man? Good to see you in there. Say hello, everyone, and good evening, Chris. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Whole lot of melted sand, right, Alien? He said can't fly over Cydonia. Too much green nuclear glass on view. Pretty much. Oops. NASA running a misdirection routine. We see only what they want us to see. You're right about that, Pete. Absolutely right about that. But if you read between the lines, we can actually see, the tip of the iceberg, like I always say. We never see anything 100%, right? But, yeah. I agree, guys. You guys are going back and forth talking about Space 1999. One of the best shows. I was a Trekkie way back in the day. So, definitely good stuff. James, you said, Chris, why do you think NASA destroyed the blueprints of the Saturn rocket that they say got the astronauts to the moon? Listen to an interview with an investigator to Coast Radio about it. Well, the only thing I can think of is that it's old technology. It's like trying to go from like a Tesla car today back to a steam engine back in the day when they started, in the 1800s? They did have battery back then, back in the 1893, 1894, and it's trying to go back to that. Why would you want them simplistic plans that just ain't worth the crap anymore? So the only thing I can think of is that they're just saying, listen, technology's obsolete, next. And you can see the difference, like I said earlier, about how they have, you can see what's in the SpaceX capsule, the astronauts sitting in there, it's all touch button, modern day. You look at the old junk back in the Apollo, what the heck would anybody want to use that trash for? So it's cool that they're doing that because it's new technology. So, yeah, first they said they lost it, which I find it hard to believe. They just got rid of it, said next. They probably already had new technology just right after, because think about this a minute. Apollo missions, okay, like I said, all kind of crude, right? Like I said, had momentary switches for yaw and roll, and toggle switches, and all this stuff. Now it's all computer guidance and everything else, and big difference. Everything's a lot more lightweight because they can make it a lot more lightweight instead of heavy duty stuff. Radio equipment is a lot lighter. They call what's the word I'm looking for? They got like a lot of transceivers now. They have SMCs or surface mount, components, which are like you can literally stick under your nail. So they're extremely light. Everything's so light and built and efficient and a lot better. Takes a little power to run. Where back then everything was so darn crude, even though it was ahead of its time back in the day, it was still crude, right? Oops. Hate it when this thing. Gamer 2020, you're right about that. Never a straight answer. Thank you, James, for your support. Appreciate it, brother. He said, Chris, what is your honest opinion about SETI? I'm starting to doubt some of the things we are being told by them. I think they know more. Well, funny thing you brought that up, because I'm going to get into that, where they have, I was looking this up. I was looking up space news and stuff like that. And I got on to, every now and then somebody brings up these, the radio burst, stuff like that. So we're going to go over that real quick. In fact, I'm going to show you that pretty soon, where it seems to come up all the time. And, there was it was the WOW signal back in 77. They had one back in 1998. And then they're having these radio bursts. So it's like, what gives? I think there's communication all over our universe, and we're just now starting to see it, and we're trying to break it down and, break down the signals so we can understand what's going on, right? Gamer 2020 says, space is like an ocean. Gravity works like density. We are being pulled to the surface by pressure. Noodles, you said SETI is looking in the wrong place. Now, actually, I think they've already got the answers, to be truthful. They're playing like, yeah, we're just looking, man. We're just looking for the stuff. Oh, stop it. You're listening to so many frequencies at a time. I forget how many they can do. And, of course, all these radio telescopes. There's a whole, you have like giant areas full of these things. Basically a giant air out into space. And these guys can hear all kinds of crap. And you can bet that they have. Very narrow bandwidth within 1 kilohertz, which is like really narrow. They're on like a 1.4 gig up to whatever, and even lower, of course. But some of these things, I don't even think, what if there's frequencies we have no ideas about? Or it's just simply laser. This is what we're seeing, these radio bursts. And this information is all being done by light, like we have today in our fiber optics. All the information is like, boom, it's being flashed across the universe. And if you have a receiver for it, you get like X amount of information within a blink of an eye or a flash of light. And I think this has been going on for quite some time. We're just starting to notice it. Renee Vaughn, you said, I'm truly a USA fan. Hurts me to see all of these looting and violence from human to human, alien to... Yeah, I agree with you. Sucks. Andrew Haberman, what's going on? Good to see you there. Chris Pomey's in there. Raquel, you said, yeah, I agree about the communication. Yeah, listen, there's a lot more going on. I mean, they've been getting this. I don't know if you guys heard about the one that was in 98. I heard about this some years back, and I remember them saying, it was saying something like, we are in trouble, our planet's dying. And I'll show you what the guy says, because he says they didn't actually have the recording or something like that, but the way they described it was that they believe they brought this on themselves. So it was either some kind of war, and they're pretty much in the middle of a war, and they're hoping that they could get some help from outside, which is really bizarre, because then they must have known there's other people out there, or just took the shot hoping that there was, that they could come to their rescue. And I'm not sure if it was that one, and again, we'll get into it, but that one there was like 80,000 light years away, which chances are if they were dying, yeah, they're nothing now. Just a dead planet. But we don't know, right? Well, radio waves will continue to go through the universe. They just keep going. I mean, yeah. Andrew, you said they need to stop listening to RF signals. Not going to work. Way too weak. They should be examining light waves. Well, that's why these radio bursts, I think that's why they're really interested in it. I think they have like what we have. So in other words, I think we're already dealing with quantum communications. We're also doing laser from space and not just in fiber optics. But there may be civilizations out there still like us. We broadcast through radio waves. Now, we're still doing it over the air. We still have all of that. We also have cable, satellite. So we're doing direct lines. Well, of course, you still have to go by C-band uplinks and downlinks, and even Jean will tell you that because he's into satellite himself, and I was into C-band satellite as well as KU. And you got these uplinks and you got downlinks. So you got these places in different states that uplink to a satellite and then it brought down, connected to like DirecTV, all of these other companies, whether you're in Canada, it doesn't really matter, right? Express View from Canada, different places like that. And so then they get all the information through this one cable company and then spread it out through lines or through satellite. So, so there's many ways to communicate, but we're still doing a lot of it by RF and radio waves, just different bands. So they may be just as crude, if you will, instead of using quantum communications and just strictly light. There may be a whole lot of civilizations that are still using radio waves, right? Noodles, you said there was a recent study that light carries info and tunes DNA. Perhaps we are light bulbs on an alien dimmer switch, getting brighter, almost illuminated. Yeah. Yep. James, you also said, Chris, they supposed to have stopped the NASA missions, but they pumped millions into SETI project more and more. What do you think that tells us, man? Well, again, I think, listen, if you get a signal and you're sure of it, and you go, okay, like that one that was being transmitted, like these radio bursts were like every 16 days. That's not normal. Every 16 days. So there's a pattern. And is it information just being sent out, like almost like a galactic newspaper, if you will, right? It's like, boom, it sends it out. Boom. Just because it's the same one from the same area doesn't mean it isn't different information being transmitted, right? How do we know? And it may be like, ungodly amounts of information in that light. Again, if you got the receiver and something that can decrypt it and break it down, all the news is boom, instant. It's just that instant. Now, of course, it's pure speculation. I don't know. But if it was a civilization and they're doing every 16 days, why the repetition every 16 days and what's in that information? Right? I was thinking the very same thing, Mimi. Yeah, if they were dying, they're probably dead and gone. Because you said it takes such a long time to reach us, the planet probably is already gone. Yeah, I mean, if it's the one I think it is, it's like I said, 80,000 light years. So yeah, I mean, unfortunately, if that's what happened, that's sad. Yep, you said light waves are a lot more efficient. Oh yeah. You asked me, Chris, have you heard about the Black Knight satellite? If yes, what do you think? Well, you can look it up. You can go to my homepage on Mars Anomalies and Beyond, and there's a little search box. Just put in there Black Knight. I've got like 2 or 3 videos of it. Absolutely, part of it is the blanket, the thermal blanket that supposedly come off this STS mission, but they want to play it off like it is that reflective or thermal blanket. And then there's parts of it where you look at it, you go, no, clearly that's not a blanket. I mean, it's only about the size of, a guy's torso. At least this part that come off was like 4 or 5 feet square type thing. And so you're talking about from the guy's probably his knee up to his torso, up to his chest. And yet this thing is a distance away and it's still quite large. No. So they're trying to combine the two to make it like, yeah, it is the blanket. Because some photos, they actually do. It is the actual thermal blanket. And I wouldn't even argue with that. What I do argue about is that there's a couple of those pictures, and I've actually, brought up the exposure, and it looks like there's steel and there's something there. It's an actual satellite, an actual object, and not a blanket. So you can look that up if you want to. Like I said, just go on my homepage and then just put it in the search box. Dial-up. You guys are talking about dial-up? Oh. Everybody's like, yeah, I'd rather kill myself than go back to that. Chris Pomey, you said, you asked me, Chris, do you think the moon is a base? Well, they're saying it's artificial. It was brought here, and supposedly, from what we've seen in the photos, there's all kinds of like these, looks like derelict spacecraft, structures on the moon. Are they still active? Were they? Was it something, or aliens that had occupied our solar system at one time, long before we can remember? I don't know. But from what we're seeing, it's been occupied. Now, some people say it's not, and it is an actual space station as opposed to an actual natural moon. I can't vet that, but that's what it's starting to sound like, right? Because when they actually did a test with a stage of a rocket several times and, banging it into the lunar surface, you get this ringing goes on for, minutes and sometimes longer than that, hours. So, yeah, they're beginning to think it's hollow and it's got like an outer skin. That's what they're thinking, right? MG Toe, what's going on? Good to see you in here, man. He said, thumbs up, everyone. Nail it. Yeah, you like that? Galactic newspaper. Well, and here's the thing. I mean, like I said, that guy that was, and I don't remember his first name, an older guy, but, from SETI, he's saying, oh, yeah, it's way over there. It's like, X amount of, let's say, 200, I'm just going to use a number because I don't remember exactly what he said. 230 million light years away, and this one here was only like 35 light years away. Okay, what does that mean? I mean, that's like saying, well, let's say we're all on like old like radios like CBs and stuff, and well, this guy over there, he's like 400 miles away, but he's using like big amplifier with a beam antenna, and this guy's over here, he's only 2 miles away, and he's only using an omnidirectional, and he's only using very low power. That doesn't mean they're not two people behind a radio, and it doesn't mean they're not going back and forth with each other. It's just, I was just listening to this guy, I'm going, is this guy high? What the hell? Come on now. Yeah. Mimi, Earth, please pick up the phone. It's more like get your crap together and start to hear us right. James, again, thank you. Appreciate you. He says, spot on, Chris. I mean, honestly, if we need to turn a knob on a radio to connect to another station, what's the difference connecting to it in space? And that's what I'm saying. We don't even know. We think we have all of these bands that we know about. Like, we got military bands, we got amateur bands, we've got government, all kinds of crazy stuff, up to, 6 gigs and higher, and, way down to kilohertz and everything else way down in the bottom. We don't even know if we even can have the technology even listen to these people. And I would think it'd be more like light communication than anything at this point, because they'd be so far more advanced if they are in fact advanced. And that other civilization that supposedly, if that's true, they were literally transmitting normal like you and I would. So it makes you wonder if it was 80. And they said, well, and the guy even says, this is funny because he speculates that they were on the same technology as us. I went, wait a minute, it's 80,000 light years away. So they were probably way more advanced at the time than we were. We're just now getting the information, because I think they said it was in 98 and they literally, decoded the message in 2011. So that's telling me that these people with, 80,000, light years away, they were much more advanced back then. Think about that a minute. So it might have sounded like that, but no. All right, this is what I was going to show you guys. Let me see this here. Let's jump on to here. I was just looking at some space news. I don't know if you guys seen it, but it's talking about the what do you call it? On the Arctic Circle, we got that catastrophe oil spill and all that other stuff. And the season for 2020 has arrived, the eclipse season, which is pretty sweet. But check this out. This is what we were talking about, right? This is the WOW signal. Was a strong narrowband radio signal received in August 15, 1977 by Ohio State's University's Big Ears, what they call it, radio telescope in the United States, then used to support search for extraterrestrial intelligence. The signal appeared to come from the direction of constellation Sagittarius and bore the expected hallmarks of extraterrestrial origin. Now, you can see it right here. This is the photo he had, and it's like 6EQ UJ5, sounds like a ham operator's call. The original printout of Emmons' handwritten exclamation is preserved by Ohio History. And he put, wow. That's why he said that. When he broke it down, he just said, wow. That's why they call it the WOW signal. And the entire signal sequence lasted for a full 72 seconds window during which Big Ear was able to observe it, but has not been detected since, despite several subsequent attempts by Ammon, I guess I'm pronouncing that right, and others. Many hypotheses have been advanced on the origin of the emission, including natural and human-made sources, but none of them adequately explain the signal. Now, if you ever heard it, it's actually on YouTube. It's basically, it just sounds like a bunch of tones, right? But it says right here, although the WOW signal had no detectable modulation. In other words, you got FM modulation, which is basically radio waves and they're close together. Amplitude modulation, which is your AM band, is much further away from each other. They're spread out. And this is the reason why you can hear them a long distance. Like I can tune into a Rhode Island radio station right here in West Virginia late at night. And if the propagation's correct, I can get that because they travel further, but they're more farther apart. That's why you go under a bridge, you lose the signal. Well, frequency modulation is like this. It's closer by. You don't seem to lose the signal as fast. Well, this one here was just like a bunch of tones in sequence. There was no modulated signal. But what they do is they broke down the X's and O's and broke down the signal, and they were able to come up with is basically noise, but whatever they came up with, right? But it's got the background signal measurement, and it tells you right here. It got code here showing you the plot of signal intensifies versus time, fitted with a Gaussian function. Intensity, the signal intensity was measured by signal to noise ratio with the noise or baseline average over the previous few minutes. The signal was sampled for 10 seconds and then processed by the computer, which took 2 seconds. Therefore, every 12 seconds, the result for each frequency channel was outputted on the printout on a signal character, representing a 10-second average intensity minus the baseline expressed as dimensionless multiple of signal standard deviation. So, but they get into this thing and it tells you, look at see right here, it's like 420 megahertz, give or take 5 kilohertz. And you can see right here in summary, you're talking about Carl Sagan. I'm trying to remember what they said. Explanation. See, this is within 10 kilohertz. They're saying that it was a narrow band mission, emission rather. But let me see, it's essentially confined to one column. And they're telling you right here, they had like on a satellite dish, they have 2 feed horns. Most of them have one, but they had 2 on this one. And the way they explain it says the 2 regions of space in the constellation Sagittarius from the WOW signal may have been originated. The ambiguity, I guess it is due to how the experiment was designed. For clarity, the widths right ascension of the red bands have been exaggerated. But what they said was they didn't know which one it was coming from. You can see it right here. It says RA positive horn and then negative horn. So there's 2 receiving horns at the very end of this dish. And what they said was they're not sure where they received it from, so they're not exactly sure which part of the sky it's from. They just said it could be from this one. It could be from this one. There you go. Hypothesis of signal's origin, they're saying anything from, of course, people had their inputs, and they were talking about, hey, this could be just natural phenomenon, and some of them believe it is not. So they were searching for the signal, a reoccurrence of it, all that kind of good stuff. Like I said, I'll drop these in there, guys. I'll drop these links in there. Nacho Libre's in the house. What's going on? Yeah, Mimi, there you go. Imagine the signal was aliens joking about us. Now, there could be. Hey, look at these dumbbells. They don't know how to get out of space yet. Well, that's a theory too, Pete. He said Carson thinks Mars was a moon of a much larger planet. Maybe our moon was in the same condition at one time. Well, it could very well be, right? No, who said that? Is your fridge running? No, it's probably my AC, the central air. Arts and Crafts, good to see you in there. Late again, sorry guys. But hello everyone, hello Chris, I hope everyone is doing well. We are doing well, Arts and Crafts, I hope you're doing well as well. Pretty much, Steve, yeah. He said, but the wow signal was from a radio burst. And that's what I'm saying, you start seeing these things, you're just going, what is going on here, right? They've been getting these for a while, now they're really on the go. What was that one that China just built? It's bigger than the one over in Puerto Rico. It's a lot bigger than that one now. It's huge, and they got online I think about a year and a half ago, didn't they? Raquel, you said Mars is a war planet. Was, or is, could be. I'm going to go ahead and bring my mug down here a little bit. Only because you guys can't see that picture right there. I just realized it's being blocked out. My bad. Gamer 2020, the experiment is to see as humans all come together, but governments and globalists divide us. That's a fact. Here's the other one too, guys. Let's check this one out. NASA received an SOS call from another galaxy. Now, this says it's probably like 5 days ago now, right? But it says NASA intercepted a message from ancient civilization from another galaxy back in January 1998, but only managed to actually translate and decode it in 2011, thanks to some of the best minds of our generation. This message was believed to be about 80,000 years old. Well, that's what they're saying, because I think they were saying light years or whatever at the time, and was said to be coming from even further than the Andromeda galaxy, but really set this apart from other such messages, the fact that it does in fact ask for our help. Now, I find that interesting because who's to say? I mean, again, they may be having their issues. Maybe they're killing themselves or whatever. According to Victor Kulikov, the leader of the United Nations research team from state-operated observatory around 50 miles northwest of Moscow, the message was definitely a plea for help, but he wouldn't get into the message, avoiding any cameras he could. He mentioned that it wasn't a natural phenomenon, that they definitely had something to do with it, since the message they clearly take a responsibility for the fall of their planet. Now, I find that sad at the same time, because they're trying to get help. This is funny because this is actually the Green Banks telescope, radio telescope here in West Virginia. So, the way they say this, and there's a video right here, and I can't play it because it would be, copy strike, and I don't want to do that. He concluded by saying that not only was this planet that was ravaged most likely by nuclear weapons such as our own, but that at the same time, these same aliens probably weren't any more advanced than we are currently. And again, I said about the 80,000 miles, whatever, 80,000, whatever it might have been. They clearly were more advanced than us. Think about that. The time, it took us the time to receive that. There you go. He did say that they were definitely around our level, but there was a certain reason as to why they couldn't leave their planet, which was most likely the fact that they weren't evolved enough to do so yet, which is another interesting fact, right? Pretty cool. But I remember hearing about that a while back, and they literally had it in a letter where they broke it down, and it said, yes, please help us. We are dying on our planet. It's our fault kind of thing, that they really acknowledged that. Yeah, it's pretty interesting, because you guys are just saying that Third Eye Open. You said, wow, I haven't heard about that SOS call. How could I have missed that? Well, that's what I'm saying. Most people don't see these. They just, just kind of dance over it, or they just think it's a hoax. Now, whether this is real or not, it's a 50-50. You guys know that, right? But I heard about this several years ago, more than several years ago. I think it just when it broke, the story broke. And I find it interesting because I'm going, it's not that far to the realm when you really think about it. We're here. The fact that we're here says to me there's other people out there. It's as simple as that. We're not special to this area, guys. We're not. We're not special at all. I think we're just part of something much larger, and I've said this many, many times ago, or in my videos, I've said that. So, yeah, I truly believe that we're part of something much larger. And then we got this right here. These are 4 mysterious signals from outer space are coming from galaxies like ours, say scientists. And now these are talking about these fast radio bursts, or the FRBs, right? Go outside on a hot day and feel the sun on your skin. Now imagine how much energy our sun emits in an entire human lifetime. Compress all of that energy into a single burst lasting a mere millisecond, and you will understand why fast radio waves, or FRBs, are one of the hottest topics in astronomy. So my guess is, if it is in fact another civilization, and we don't know that for sure, only they know, we don't, I find it interesting because if it is, they're probably going, oh my God, this is some kind of radio transmission. We need to figure out how to get this thing, decipher it, decode it. And you can bet that's exactly what they're trying to do. First discovered in 2007 at Australia's Parkes Radio Telescope, the FRBs are very brief, very bright single radio pulses that can last for several milliseconds. It's estimated that several thousands per day are occurring over the entire sky. The most famous one is the FRB 121102, unusual because it's been detected a few hundred times since it first burst onto the scene in 2014. FRB, again, 121102, is coming from a small dwarf galaxy about 3 billion light years from Earth. So what's causing them? Colliding stars, supermassive black holes, radio broadcasts from a distant alien civilization. Now, they ruled out black holes, and you can read that, and I'll give you guys the links to this as well. Let me see here. And they're trying to break it down where they find this thing is, where it's at. These precisely localized fast radio bursts came from the outskirts of their home galaxies, removing the possibility that they have anything to do with supermassive black holes, said Dr. Bandari. Her team found the exact location of 4 new radio bursts, FRB 180924, and of course other several ones, by zooming in on the radio sky using the detector, the Australian Square Kilometre Array Pathfinder, or ASKAP, in Western Australia. Follow-up observations were made using some of the world's largest optical telescopes, including Gemini South, the Very Large Telescope, Magellan Bay, Keck, and the other one. Although all of these 4 FRBs are coming from 3 or 4 billion light years away, all were discovered to be coming from massive galaxies that are forming new stars at a moderate rate, much like our own Milky Way. Exactly. Just like doing video calls with colleagues shows you their homes and gives us a bit of insight into their lives, looking into the host galaxies of 4 radio bursts gives us insights to their origins, says Dr. Bhandari. So they're literally trying to like shoot these things all over the place, right? You can see they're like different areas they're shooting out into space, or they're receiving, I should say. The findings, let me see where it says right here. The findings bring astronomers a step closer to understanding the origin of these mysterious signals from outer space, as well as not being from black holes. The FRBs could also not have come from very bright explosions or stars from cosmic strings, say the researchers, but could be from mergers of white dwarf stars or neutron stars, right? So, yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of speculation, but I wonder if they just throw in this other rigmarole just so they say, well, we don't want to just say it's aliens. We don't want to do that. We're not saying it's aliens, but it is aliens. But it just makes you wonder. You got these 3, and you can bet there's been many, many, many more. So, you know, I find it hard to believe, and I said this a million times, these are not, you know, these are not just weird signals. I believe they are from other people like us. And we just started listening to these areas. We probably weren't listening to the right part of the sky for the longest time and decided to slowly move the dishes. You know, all of these dish arrays, and just finally, oh, wait a minute. It's like dialing in on an AM, you know, or a shortwave radio until finally you find the right, you know, one you want to listen to, or one. And we're like, wow, now I know where to find it. I'm going to continue to go back to it to see if they're still transmitting. And now they're finding these things more and more. And if they're coming from the same part in the same part of the sky over and over and over again, how can that possibly, I mean, it can be natural, but is it the same intensity? Is it the same duration? They're saying it's like milliseconds. So is it the same intensity, same milliseconds? And if it's not, and if it's just being repeated and repeated and repeated, or if it's a longer signal, I don't know. It's kind of interesting no matter how you look at it, right? Let me go back down here. James, he said, Chris, if you go really deep into in time in the real story of the WOW signal, you will find how much of the mainstream scientists push to discredit the findings, and that is a documented fact. Well, I mean, of course they are. Think about it. And I think SETI has already heard this. I think other countries around the world have also heard this. In other words, they've found signals and probably deciphered them. And if they're like a regular radio wave, then it's nothing for us to just go, wow, just tune in like tuning into a radio. You know, oh, what is this? This doesn't sound like from our planet. Or maybe it's just transmissions, like regular, like their communications, like either TV broadcast or some kind of radio broadcast, and we're just picking it up. How do we know? You know? But they got to be such a narrow bandwidth, like within 1 kilohertz, to make sure they're completely locked on, no deviation, so that they can get this information, or they can lock it on completely. Now, of course, they actually have to travel and track the signal, because obviously we're actually rotating on our axis. So our planet is turning, so we have to keep locking on. And of course, probably another observatory or another radio telescope will then take over and lock on and keep tracking, and so on and so forth. So, yeah, I mean, come on, guys. Yeah, alien, yeah. Distress call from another galaxy? Talk about mail being late. Pretty much. But see, again, we're just learning that, wow, there could be other people, other besides us, other than us, you know? Wow, imagine that. Steve, you said 80,000 years ago, they're more likely than likely done. Well, unless they kind of stopped the war and then, you know, what's left over they rebuilt. I mean, who knows, right? I like to believe they're still alive if this story is true, right? Yeah, News, I totally agree with you. He said, I think about 20% of folks would learn about aliens, and 80% would rather fight them than learn. Bad move. Yeah, because the first thing is first, you know, kill first and then ask questions later. But if they find out they're peaceful let's say these people were a lot closer instead of 80,000 years. Maybe they were like a year, two, maybe 200 years, and you could hear them really good. And you go, okay, they don't sound like they were, bad people. Although if they are killing their own planet off, then they're not much better than we are, right? Or were. So, yeah. Let me get down to the bottom here. So if I miss anybody's, just let me know. Because while I was doing this and showing you guys the page, you guys have been commenting, so I haven't been really keeping up. So my bad on that. It's hard to do two eyeballs at the same time. Gamer 2020 said insects are aliens originally from a comet. Some are alien probes that self-replicate. It's hard to say where all of these animals came from. It's hard to tell, man. These could be brought on from asteroids, and somehow they just started evolving on the planet and became what they are. And, as we evolved, they evolved. It's hard to tell, right? Raquel, I agree. I mean, if the story is true that you said those poor people, I totally agree. Gamer 2020 said humans expel CO2, so they tax our breathing. The virus I guess we breathe in, it's supposed to be. In our breaths are literally under attack right now. Well, as long as you're not breathing in too much CO2, you should be fine, but you know how that goes. RBG, you said, too bad we don't have the technology to help if this would be true. Well, the only thing I could think of, which wouldn't make any sense either way, you wouldn't have the technology to do it unless they were into light communication or quantum communication, that you could literally almost like send them information how to get through it. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, it's like it's useless because you're still talking even by light. When would they get it? Probably be way too long. But the fact if the story is true, it just boggles the mind because you're thinking these guys are so desperate, and they had to have believed that there was life out there other than themselves as well. And they said, please help us. They're literally, as a last resort, sending this information out, help us, like a signal, like an SOS. That's bizarre. It's cool, and it's sad. It's just everything all thrown together, right? Bush Corey said, my opinion, Earth is a prison, and our violent species was sent here many moons ago. As we are so far away from anything, only my opinion. Well, it's who knows, right? It could have been, we've talked about before, where there could have been more than one alien species that decided to drop, different people here. That's what people were saying. Like, this is the reason why you got different ethnic groups. You got like Asian, you got African American, you got white, you got whatever. So they're thinking maybe the aliens were the same way. And they just all seeded their own people onto the planet, and this is the reason why we have this diversification of people, right? So now I'm not sure I believe all that, but I'm just saying that. But that's what some of the theories were coming out with. I'm like, well, I'm not sure about that, but. Noodles, you said life exists elsewhere. Note, no big deal. Catholics say it's okay. Well, before, remember everybody was against the fact, there's no life out there. There's none of this. Now suddenly they got their own observatory. Now they say, well, yeah, life could be out there. Wait a minute. Why the big flip-flop? Now, don't get me wrong. It took years to come around to say that. But, the Vatican was like, oh, no, there's no life out there. And, even if there was, it'd probably be evil. Now suddenly they got their own Lucifer telescope, and now they're looking at everything. Oh yeah, life could be out there. Wait a minute, what's going on? Or did they see something and said, oh yeah, it definitely convinced them that it's clearly there, right? Gamer, you said humans act like a virus on the planet. No other species does that here. No, they're actually a lot more caring, and they actually get along with each other. Well, not all, because if you're in the food chain, you're in a world of hurt. But yeah, you get the idea. I don't know. That's a good question, Kenny. You said if they told the truth about aliens, would anyone care? It's 2020, not the 40s. I don't know. I think it'd be more relevant now. I mean, back then they probably would have been frightened, as opposed to now they'd probably be like more inquisitive, right? What do you guys think? Would you be more frightened about it now, or if you lived in the 40s, would you be more freaked out? Vice versa. What do you guys think? I think back then, because everything, you didn't really have any technology. We didn't have any really good sci-fi flicks. I mean, they did have some back in the 50s, 60s, whatever, where, it showed like, their special effects, if you will, on these space movies and stuff like that was pretty good. But, would you have been more freaked out back then? I think so. But now we've been so desensitized to like space and all kinds of stuff out there. I think people would go either way because like movies like Contact, which is supposed to be really good, which it is a good movie. But, and if you notice in the movie where she gets transported through that, it's like a wormhole, so to speak. And she meets this alien, but he makes himself look like her father and says, you guys are just not ready yet. And he says, you can see them like traveling through these wormholes and they're saying, we've been doing this for millions of years. We just don't think you guys are ready yet. So, pretty interesting. And then you've got like Independence Day, people would freak out. So I don't think that's the case. I just think it's almost like they're trying to put it in the mindset of people saying, you never want to meet aliens. You better hope there is never aliens, because if there is, we're all dead. And of course, people would tend to freak out if they heard about them. I don't know. What's your input? Andrew, you said I think if they admitted to aliens, it would bring humans closer together. I think so. I am looking for extraterrestrials. You said, yeah, of course, in the 50s, people were a lot more scared of UFOs than today. Yeah, because it's the fear of the unknown, right? So, and it's still the same, because people think right off the bat, they ever came to this planet, we're all dead. Why? Why do people make that assumption? If they have the technology, then they've been here for thousands of years. They're just watching us grow. Like I said, I think somebody used the analogy one time. It's like we're like a giant ant farm. We were probably planted here, or we were, by the theory of panspermia. Whatever the reason how we got here doesn't really matter. They're just observing, making sure if we don't kill ourselves. Maybe they just want us to basically grow up, so to speak, do away with war, and become like one as a whole on this planet, as a human race, and that they can accept us then. But I don't foresee that happening. If you got this divide and conquer from our government, I don't see it happening. People ourselves need to smarten up. That's the thing. We need to stop saying, listen, you know what? I don't care what color you are, what race you are. I could care less. You are my brother. You are my sister. We all bleed red, period. And if everybody started thinking in that mindset, the government would be afraid. Wait a minute. They're all getting along? This is not good. They would not want to hear that. This is why they have this kind of thing going on. Yeah, if you go by War of the Worlds, right there, Raquel? More likely they would die from all our germs, LOL. Or we'd die from theirs, whichever comes first, right? Lance Smith, you said the aliens would have already been here and are probably warning the other aliens to stay away. Yeah, they're going, yeah, you don't want to be next to that planet. Shoo, bunch of nut jobs. Hudson Crash, you said, strangers to me, but the people were hugging the aliens that emerged, and eventually I couldn't deal with the confusion, and I woke up. Huh. Gamer, you said the wall is to keep Americans in. Be careful what you wish for. True. Tim Houston, you said the good old days of the Cold War when spies and UFOs were in our collective faces. Yep. Yeah, I have, James. You said, Chris, did you notice that there is a lot more talk about parallel universes in the mainstream? It's like the Big Bang Theory is starting to fade away. Yeah, imagine that. Well, what are they up to now? It was like, I'm trying to remember. Wasn't parallel? Well, it might have been up to like 11 different parallel universes or something like that. Or was it the parallel universes? It was dimensions. I'm sorry. Now they're finding more and more. So it's like you could be right here when you're in a home, and there's somebody else occupying your space in another dimension. Kind of weird thing going on. So, but they're finding this out. More and more technology, science is progressive. We're finding out more and more. And I think if we could get like our air, like it could be a fly on the wall in some of these observatories like SETI, they're probably going, oh yeah, did you get that other signal again? Yeah, they're still transmitting. You should hear the music and their programs that they transmit. It's like, what? I mean, of course that's speculation. We know that. I'm just being silly here. But we don't know. We have no clue what these people are hearing. And there's a big push to really, really look for signs of life out there. Why? Is it because they're just curious and just want to find out? Or is it because they've already heard them and looking to find more? Trying to find out who else is in the neighborhood, right? Trying to see who's out there. And that's what that's all about. Well, it's a good question. You said, Alien, you said the question is, who really wants us divided? That's true. But like I said, if everybody came together as a whole and said, you know what, I'm just going to start appreciating everybody for who they are, right? Again, this is the way I look at it. If you respect me, I reciprocate. I do the same for you. It's as simple as that. I get along with anybody as long as, you don't disrespect me, I don't disrespect you. And a lot of it you just shrug off anyway. You know how that goes. But to me, it's like, I don't care what you are. I don't care if, again, what race, color, creed, I don't care what you are. I just return the favor. I'm just cool with everybody if they're cool with me. And I think if everybody got together, like I said, the governments around the world would actually start to panic. Wait a minute. Now they're coming together as a whole, and now they're demanding this, that, the other. Oh, hell. There's a lot more population than there is military. That's a grass. I would love to hear some alien reggae. Raquel, yep, because they know that there's more. Tim Houston, he said, well, you're talking to Noodles, I'm sorry. Thank you again, James, for your support. Thank you very much. He said, Chris, that means there's 2 hangouts tonight, man. No, just the one. But I'm thinking about doing one earlier in the week, which would be good because, photography brought that up, and I'd love to check that out. It's a small pan, but nonetheless, it's still pretty cool. I'd love to check that out as well. So... And I've got another one I'm going to check out. We're going to go with, if you guys want to check out a pan, we can do that again tonight as well. So thumbs up or down, let me know if you guys want to check out another pan like we usually do. But again, James, thank you very much for the support. Andrew, you said, I wish more people would think for themselves and stop listening to the lying media and believing everything they hear. Well, that's true because, again, let's keep perpetuating the hate. Divide and conquer, divide and conquer. Depending on who you talk to, statistically, state to state to whatever, some people say, well, there's more white people killed by police than blacks and vice versa. Again, if people would just respect each other, even the cops, they use unnecessary force. When a man is down on his belly and he's handcuffed and you got 4 cops there, how much of a threat can it be to those 4 men? It's ridiculous. Makes no damn sense. So... they just need to start, putting these cops when they want to become a policeman, they need to put them through the ringer and see if they're psychologically freaking stable to begin with. And then, go from, different stages of the application, put them through like a little test and see how they react to it and so on and so forth. Noodles, you said not into socialism? Do you like to be as fair as possible? See YouTube video, a bold idea to replace politicians. I always said this, listen, first of all, do away with the House. Do away with all that BS. The right, the left, I could care less. It's all politics to me. To me, it's like, this is what I would do. You know as well as I do, the president has a military advisor. You got all kinds of advisors, whether it be for the environment, for this, for that. That's the only people you have in a room. Now, when it comes to military advisor, what do we need to do about this other country? Are we all right? Okay, no. All right, what do we need to do with financial advisor? Well, this is the way the country is right now. We need to do this. Okay. so on and so forth. And you have like a little panel of them, little panel of, each of these groups, and that's it. Not this right, left, this, that, and the other. People warring and fighting against each other, and neither one of them can make a decision. It's like half these politicians have like, half a brain between all of them, and they wonder why we can't get shit passed. So to me, it makes more sense just to have your advisors, nothing more. Do away with the frickin' House. It's a waste of time. It's just a bunch of crap. It's just a bunch of red tape to get through, and it makes no damn sense. Oops. Hit that. That's a great question, Mimi. He said, what would the music sound like? Exactly, Miss Harrod, yeah. He said, mass media is dividing us. Chaos and fear and war sells. Absolutely. It's a big business, and that's all there is to it. Marcus Peters, what's happening? He said, good morning, Chris. Greetings from South Africa. Good to see you in there, man. Good one. Yeah, I caught that after you said that. Said James Cragen. He said, haha, parallel universe to Hangouts. I appreciate you, man. That's good. I like that. I'm looking for extraterrestrials. He said, we have a McCoy, I'm not sure how that is. Dictatorship. We need an opposite dictatorship, a workers' dictatorship, as a temporary stage until the disappearance of the state. Absolutely. I mean, Orsifice. Yeah, there you go, gamer. And again, it's like they use. I remember seeing one of these kids like was going to get, what the hell was it? Years ago, there was a little variety store next to my house, and I heard the cops pull up, and supposedly this guy was supposed to be coming back. He got pissed off at the store owner, came back. He said, "Oh, I'm going to come back." So he came back, and I think he had a pair of nunchucks or some goofy thing, right? So they took out a gun and shot this kid in the leg. I'm going, okay, let me get this straight. So you have a tonfa, and you got a billy club and everything else to fight this kid off, but yet you got to shoot him. Whatever happened to, match fire with fire kind of thing, Now, if the guy came over with a gun, oh, yeah, absolutely. There's no playing games, but it's BS. It's absolutely BS. They got to stop. Start recognize people as people and get over that crap. Get over this slavery crap. I'm not saying people, especially African Americans, could just put that out of memory because it's something that's instilled in them, right? Since hundreds of years, but since the 1400s. But the thing is, we have to start recognizing each other as brothers and sisters. And again, the damn governments do not want to see that. They do not want to see that. Everybody becomes wise to it. They all become, okay, we're a fellow race now. We're all a race, a human race. They don't want that. So you'll keep seeing this kind of crap all the time. Kelly, so we have all been brainwashed already, some more than others. They reckon in our first 7 years of life, some people questioning nothing. Well, it's getting to the point, I don't know if you know, guys, you've done this yourselves. You literally have a different mindset now. Whether it's, what you're seeing on these other planets, the moon. My mind has totally changed about who we are today. I forgot about everything about the history books. I could care less. Science books, I'm okay with, but even the science books back in the day when you were in school, even those have changed greatly. Different discoveries. What they thought was this was no longer that. Now it's something different. So even you have to erase what you learned in school and start learning all over again. And it's the truth. And to me, it's just like, it's a cool thing because you're learning something new every day. Yeah, Renee Cruz, chocolate stick. There you go. Nunchucks. Gamer 2020 said, the love of money is the root of all evil. One of the biggest misquoted sayings. Well, the thing is, if you think about it, it's what it is. It's what drives everything, right? Whether it's hatred, greed, whatever. That's why it kind of makes you wonder, if you can get off the grid and just have your own water, collect your own water, which I'd love to do. If I could do it tomorrow, I would. My own solar, station. I wouldn't even have to be on the grid. I don't want to know nothing. I want to be off somewhere, like in a mountain, secluded, not have to give a crap about nothing. Produce your own, get your own water, get your own electricity. And it's the people that as long as you're connected to anything, you're being controlled, one form or another. Kenny Riley said Bob Lazar 25 years ago. Look now, UFOs all over the world. They said he lied. Did he? No. Yep, absolutely. Gamer, you said control is the root of all evil. Money is the conduit. Pretty much. Damn thing just jumped on me here. Martin Warm, he said hi from Dorset, UK. What's happening, Martin? Photographer, like, nice. He said, Chris, I sent you the wrong link. Okay. Let me see here. I'll be checking it out. Photography. Let me see here. Sure that's not the same one you had? And now it's saying, like, this is, no, it seems like the same link. Same picture anyway. Same photo. Marcus, so you were listening to, was it Jimmy Carter? He said, we need a threat from outer space to unite us. When it's what he said, isn't there an alien presence among us? Yeah, but that's what the thing is. It would literally be like almost like Independence Day. People would, band together, or you see these alien movies where aliens come down and everybody just bands together and they forget about total. This is what I love about, I don't know if I want to call it love, but during the time of 9/11, you see what happened there, right? Nobody gave a shit about each other's color. The person was hurt. The person was underneath rubble. The person was hit by a car. They didn't care. They literally went over and they helped. That was the awesome part of it. Of course, the rest of it was a disgrace and was sad. But you understand what I'm saying. Everybody came together in a time of need. Same thing would happen with alien presence, I think. And I think if people could just think that on a regular mindset and just say people are people just like I am, things would be a lot better off in this world. But again, divide and conquer. Let's see. Richard Frost, you said, Chris, what do you know about the secret Mars mission next month in China? Well, it's not really secret. They're actually saying that they're supposed to be going, they're sending a probe and a rover to Mars. Again, just a desolate planet, cold, dirt, and nothing else. Yet, let's get all kinds of rovers and landers up there to see what's not there. Here we go again, guys. Everybody's going there. Yeah, photography. I just looked at it. It said, I looked at it. You just sent it at 6:57, at least my time, Eastern time. I clicked on it. It's the same one. Same exact link. When I open it up in the downloads, it's the same exact one. Yep, 7.2. Yeah, same one. Same photo and everything. Tim Houston, you said, yeah, Bob was punked by the deep state. Poor guy was drugged and hypnotized. Yeah, you see what they did? They tried to just erase his ass, period, and act like he never even existed. That wasn't good. Lansimus, China will make it their products of junk. Yeah, you'd be surprised. They come a long way, and they're getting help from other, manufacturers and stuff like that to help build whenever else. So they're doing pretty well for themselves now, right? But I love to see how that's going to go. Pete Ferrero, he said, if humanity could figure out a way to live naturally in oceans, overpopulation wouldn't be a problem. I'll tell you, it's funny you mention that because there was a girl that was in there, and she come into the store I work in, and she said she was ex-military, and she was telling me about these medical research companies and these cities that are underwater rather, on the West Coast as well as the East. And she said, I haven't been to the one in the West, but my dad is in the military, and I was actually able to go down there. And because she was also military as well, she went down there. She said, you wouldn't believe the stuff. It's so highly technology. The technology in it is insane. And she was going on and on and on about how the coronavirus was made. It's hard for the body to detect it because they made it look like an antibody that's in your body now. So they just kind of just swim by each other, and the antibodies never even attack it. But she was going on and on, very, very knowledgeable. I like to see her when she comes in the store again. And I said I said it right out in front of one of my co-workers while she was talking to us. I said, I got to get her on my show. But she was just like, she's spilling so much friggin' information. I'm like, oh my God. So I'd like to see her in there again. Oh, okay. Photography said it's called Enhanced Solid 184. I haven't seen that one yet then. Because I've got one, the first one you sent was 5:28 p.m. The next one was 6:57 p.m. That's when it was, and it was the same exact length. At least that's what I got here. Gamer 2020 said UFOs come from the moon. It's a hub. They recharge in Earth's atmosphere off lightning and magnetic fields. I've seen many of those where you actually see UFOs coming in and out of clouds like that, or they're just above it. And every time there's storms, they're literally like, it seems like they're charging up from it. At least that's what people say. Now, I'm not sure how true that is, but it appears to be that way, right? Whatever happened to Antarctica, you ask, Gamer? Well, according to after all of this stay-in and lockdown and stuff like that, well, the ozone layer is now cured above it. That's what they're saying. Was it Antarctica or was it the South Pole or South? I thought it was Antarctica, but yeah, these it seems like it has healed itself, and air quality is a lot better in different countries, along with California, China, different places. So I wonder if there's a bigger plan to all that, if you think about it, right? Hudson Krause, he said, I truly believe that they have people on Mars already, and they are getting ready to move some VIPs there. Well, I mean, according to them, they're supposed to send some kind of like 3D robots to actually build structures for them before they even get there. But I have a feeling if the structures are there and they're not all decimated and completely destroyed and everything else, they're probably saying, hey, just move into those. Just move into them. How do we know they didn't have some kind of energy source like a nuclear-powered source where it would never die? How do we know? It's pure speculation, but we don't know. So we don't know if there's like things still working on that planet, if there are still structures. Let's say they're just structures with no power. So what? Doesn't mean you can't move into them if they're structurally sound. So they don't have to build anything. Just go down there and just move into them. Of course, they'd have to adapt it and everything else, but you know what I'm saying. It is kind of like a big con job, Raquel. You said I think we were conned, conned with COVID-19. Well, that's just my opinion after listening to many different interviews and the way lockdown was managed. It didn't make sense. Well, again, I think there's a lot bigger picture, and it's almost like they wanted to do a planetary reset, like get the ecosystem, everything back cleaned up and everything else. And you know, if you listen to what was it, what's his name there? I'm gonna forget his name now. But anyway, he wanted to drop the population by like X amount of millions of people. And if you think about it, how many people, they're thinking, how many people can we get rid of within X amount of months? Think about that. So you got this supposed manufactured, this germ warfare, genetically modified SARS, regular flu, whatever it is, modified and it's to look like a antibody that's in your body so your body doesn't attack it that good. So if you have a weak immune system, you're a dead person. And then you got, we can do away with the population, some of it. X amount of hundreds of thousands. I think there's over 100,000 here in the United States alone. And, okay, so we can do that and we can clean up the environment at the same time. And I'm sure there's other reasons behind it. All right, photography, I'll check it out. All right, we got it. We'll see what happens here. Okay. All right, that one is a zip. Now, let's see if this opens. If not, then I'll just throw it into. Oops. Don't need that. Don't need that. Okay. Oops. Go here instead. All right. It must be a pretty big file because I'm looking at this thing and I'm going, okay. And which is really weird. I'll get this message every now and then. I don't know if the computer's just being stupid or whatever, but it'll say not enough RAM. It's like, well, there's 12 gigs of RAM in the thing. I mean, it's not too bad, but it's one of the smaller computers I've got. So I might have to just open it up on my other computer here and just do it that way. But I did get it. Photography. Definitely got it. Let me go back here. You guys have been talking while I was jerking on that thing. All right, let me just see here. That's sweet. You said flat Earth seems insane until you explore alternate physics. Yeah, I mean, but I just go by what I see, and just being in a plane alone kind of blows that theory out of the water. I've heard of it all. I mean, I've been on different sites when I first started years ago, and heard every argument in the world with all that FE kind of thing going on. I was never convinced of it. And everything they try to debunk about what's going on with the satellites out in space, this, that, and the other, I was able to refute it, and they couldn't answer back. The only way they could do it was to basically come back and swearing at me and cussing and everything else. So I was like, oh well. Gamer, you said science is never settled ever. No, because it's constantly evolving. Well, there's a misconception about that, James. You said, Chris, if there's nothing but ice in the Antarctic, why is it impossible to even fly over there and without getting shot down by governments they claim now have the right to the airspace? Well, here's the thing. Just what people don't know is that you can go on, you can vacation there. You can go on all kinds of cruises in there. Now, there's certain parts of Antarctica, yes, that are blocked off, but you can go there. You can literally fly there. You can go there, just fly in and out of there. You just take cruises. They go on ships and everything else, and there's towns right there on the coast and stuff like that. But I have to agree, there are areas where it's kind of like a no-fly zone kind of thing. So who knows? Maybe there's just a whole bunch of military stuff going on up there, and maybe they found something up there they don't want us to be privy of. Who knows, right? Exactly right, Pete. You said we lost same number in U.S. in 68 and 69 to Hong Kong flu. Nothing stopped. CDC report. Right. There's a lot of, and what was it? Was it Sweden when all this went down? They didn't even close anything. It's like people. It's kind of like a flu. It's just like people say, well, no, it's worse. Well, to the fact that you could probably, catch it faster, or it's just more aggressive in the system. But anybody who had a weak immune system to begin with, even in a regular flu, even the SARS or whatever. Yeah, you were pretty much in jeopardy, right? Oops. No, Richard, you're right about that. You said, I've just had 8 days in the hospital for heart problems. All the nurses were saying they all feel COVID is manufactured. It's in no way a natural virus that have been previously deployed to the COVID wards. Well, I mean, as far as again, it's a bioweapon. It's been made as a bioweapon. People have to look that up. This is not something that comes naturally. It was modified, and people know that. And of course, it got out, or they spread it out. I think it was a thing they literally planned to send it out. If you think about it, it's like, of course, China had it first, and then boom, 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 it started cropping up all over the place. Was it because people were just vacationing here, coming from China, or was it actually placed there, just released? Who knows? It's hard to say, and it's pure speculation as what we can say how it got here. Maybe it's just simple as people just visiting, right, the States or any other country. But to me, it just seems like if it's planned and it was a bioweapon, then it was designed and released for a reason. It's as simple as that. But there's a much bigger picture going on behind it. At least that's just me. I'm going to jump way down here because I want to catch up to everybody here. So if I missed anybody's comments, just go ahead and say it again. Martin Warm, you said, let's have more landers on the moon and get some quality pictures sent home. Must be possible. Oh, absolutely is possible. And I guarantee every photo we've ever analyzed or whatever. In fact, I got a couple other ones coming up. I was supposed to get a video out for you guys today, but because, I got in late. I wasn't even supposed to work today, but my other co-worker was like, oh, yeah, I'm sick. I can't. Of course you can't. So I had to go in there, do all kinds of ordering and do all kinds of stuff in there. Got home. I was trying to bust out a video today. Didn't work. So I'll have some probably... I want to try to get one out tomorrow afternoon if I can, but I have one. I think I've got 2 Moon, 1 Mars, maybe 2 Mars. So got some on the burners for you guys. So we'll definitely get it out. Talking like magic. If Earth is flat, my dog's my father. Gamer, you said social distancing my butt. Physical distancing, please. I'm socially never closer, thanks. Yeah, I heard about that when he went and visited, Renee. You said NASA astronaut Buzz, accompanied by Admiral Byrd, had a heart attack inside Antarctica's extraterrestrial alien pyramid. Well, I know he was in Antarctica at the time, and it just makes you wonder, what's the big hype that that he wanted to go there to begin with. Maybe it was a bucket list thing. Could be, right? But to go there and see what? If it was to visit, maybe go on a cruise, whatever, it makes sense. But that wasn't the case. It makes you wonder. Bush Corey, whiskey is kicking in, so good night, all. Great stream tonight, Chris. Catch you later. All right there, Bush Corey. Good to see you there, man. Try not to drink too much. Going to feel like a giant hammer on the head by the next morning, so go easy. But take it easy, man. Good seeing you in there. Weird World, what up, my friends? What's going on? Pete Ferreira, I'm almost positive one of them is actually Apollo 15. I'd like to see more Apollo 15 pics, not many explored. Well, I've got one that's about, remember it was China that released the that weird oily substance or sticky or glass-like substance on the surface of the moon. That's one of the pictures. And it's just little subtle things in there, but it makes you wonder, and you can see how it makes you wonder what they are, but you can also see the areas where they modified and change some things around. So that one's coming up soon. You guys will see that. Yeah, I'm going to definitely check that out. You said, Chris, the next season of Ancient Aliens has a great episode about Skinwalker Ranch on it. And it is starting from Monday next on the History Channel. Just telling you. Yeah, I heard about that as myself. I'm going to just definitely check it out if I can, if I don't forget. Gamer 2020, they have been trying to vaccine on coronavirus for decades. Each time animals with the vaccine dies when they got the virus. Well, to me, it's Listen, I've always said this. I said, listen, first of all, you're not going to give me some vaccine because if one person had it, it can actually modify itself just by being in that person's body. You then get it. That vaccine is no longer useful. It's absolute trash. And why do you have an immune system? Because your body will fight it off and it'll build up immunity. Some people say that's not true. It will not build up an immunity, yet your body does that to every germ you ever caught. Now, obviously, it's new. The body will have to build up antibodies and its own immunity to kill it off. And then next time if you get something similar to that, it won't be so hard on the body. So your body does this anyway. So why pump it into your body purposely with a vaccine? It's stupid. And you don't know what else cocktail, what other piece of trash they're putting in that. So why even want the vaccine? I'm good. Yeah, it's just one of the topics there, Richie Boy Legend. You said, sorry, guys, late to the stream. Why are we talking about? It's just something to come up. That's all. All right, let's see here. No, that's not it. Let's jump into this pan real quick. It won't be, there's not a whole lot in this one. I kind of briefed over real quick. What I find interesting, and I'm going to show you this, and I think this computer still, I got like a lot of things running on this right now, but it's funny because you'll see what I'm talking about if it does it. What I find interesting right out here, you can see things look kind of natural here. Everything looks good. Not too bad. Then all of a sudden you go up here. Tell me this stuff is not modified. Look at this. Let me go way back in the back here. Let me see if it was this one here. I think it might have been this one here. This mound, right? Funny how you can see like things right here, like stuff with corners. You can see where they've drawn some of this out, but this is what I find amusing. Look at this. How the hell do they expect anybody to think this is natural? Anybody? I have never seen a mound or a mountain ever look like that. Clearly, this is some kind of brushing technique or some piece of trash. And then when you go down to the bottom, it looks crystal clear. Everything looks good. How is that possible? This doesn't make any sense. Let's back up. I mean, look at that. I don't know why no scientist of any, buddy's got any brains would look at this. How can you guys put this trash out? And it actually looks like there's some kind of straight line thing, and there's something white right there. See that right there? Almost like they totally forgot about something right there in the middle. I'm going to put it right there in the middle of the page. But who looks at that and say, oh my God, that's so natural. Look at that. But yet you come down here. Oh, it's not too bad. It looks pretty realistic, except for everything they have here is completely like exposure has been brought up on these rocks. Well, look at some of these things. They're just weird little jagged things and stuff like that. I think I went over this and I was looking at something. Where the heck was this thing at? Look at this. Why is everything like, let me guess, this is like highly salted rock? Look at this crap. You see where the rover has actually went over this area? But look at the difference between this right here, this right side, to the rocks that are on this side. Clearly you can see the difference in manipulation and the way they're messing with these photos. You can see that. I mean, it's just, you can actually see the line perfectly. Look at that. Going up diagonally at the center of the screen, complete trash on the right, and you have rocks, but they're highly exposed or brought up, so you cannot see what's on the rocks or if they're rocks at all, right? But have a good look at some of these things. And of course, we got the rover right here. You can see that. Some of these rocks are kind of funky looking. Like look at the just the patterns inside this one rock. Look at this. It's like a cutout right here, and there's something mimicking the shape of that cutout. See that? Is that really a rock, guys? Let me do this. Let me get rid of my face here so we can see what we're doing here. Because sometimes I don't think that this is going to be in the way, but it is. So let's get rid of my face there. And this way we can see this, and I won't hide some of this photo. I see cutouts, and I see things that are inside these cutouts. That makes no sense to me. And look at these small little rocks, supposed rocks, and look at some of the details on these things. Of course, some of them are hard to see because they are manipulating these things, and they have them highly contrasted, which sucks all together. Okay. There's a couple of these things I was looking at. I'm saying, wow, look at this. It's crazy. But let me see if I can find it. I was just, like I said, I went over this thing briefly, to be truthful with you guys. I just kind of went over it real quick. I said, well, this looks like a pan we may be able to pull a couple things out of. I don't know. I don't know what the heck this is. Some kind of weird rock or something sticking straight out of the ground. At least that looks that way. This is some kind of shadowing in between these rocks. It could be. Nice straight pipe type thing going straight across in this one. I don't know what that is. See that? Kind of straight. And sometimes you guys want to have a look at this pan. You want to actually look, like, not be like this, like so zoomed in, it looks distorted. You want to back out a little bit. And worst case scenario, you want to back way up and then use a magnifier so you don't really distort the hell out of it. But check this out. You can see where they put this crap with this, you know, basically the same texture as the ground over this, but it's clearly there's something white right here, and they're trying to just cover the whole thing. Like little parts and whatever else. Like this here. What the heck is this? Look at the way this thing has, boom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces. Now, look at the line. There's a 90-degree angle in here, like a some kind of design to this thing. Look right here in the light part of it. There is some kind of rectangular openings of some sort, but you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these pipe kind of objects. I seen this and I said, man, this is probably the wildest thing I've seen in a photo yet. But yeah. That to me is crazy right there. That's cool. And like I said, you get this black line. I'm going to put this right in the middle of the screen here for you guys. You got this black line right here going straight across, nice angle and come down. And then what looks like little compartments or some kind of openings in this side of it. And of course, it's completely, you know, you can see it's practically, you know, they put this something real bright on one side, highly exposed one area, so it distracts the eyes. You don't see it. Yeah, gamer, kind of does, doesn't it? It looks like a digger attachment. Yeah. When you see stuff like that, come on. That's a rock? But again, look at this. Why is the rocks here? Look, you know, okay, it looks okay. But then you go over here and everything's so brightened up that you can't make heads or tails out of it. Simply doesn't make any sense, does it? And if you think about it, look at the Rover's running right over this stuff. Like it's not even a big deal. Look at these right here. Can't tell what it is, but look at these pieces coming down. Almost again looks like this cutout in the rock. And you have a square piece. See this cutout right here? And it looks like a square piece inside the cutout. And you have these things that are coming straight down. Now, rocks to me are solid. We know that. And that they're round, whatever shape they are, different shapes and everything else. They don't look like little pipes or some kind of, let's call it rebar. Let's call it whatever you want. It doesn't look like that. And we're seeing pieces like that all the time. Renee, it's a giant frog. It's kind of these rectangular opening pieces again. Look at this. It looks like parts here, guys. It doesn't look like, you know, like just simple rocks like you would see, like all different shaped rocks. You see what looks like details in here. It looks like pieces and parts. You can see it right here. This is going down, has like an angle coming down, straight down over here, comes down another angle, has a cutout right here. I'm going to back out a little bit so clear it up. And there's something right in the middle of that cutout. Now, almost appears to be something black kind of coming out of it. Let me just back up a little bit. See that? Right there. Okay. Again, we got something that looks like almost like a square corner, like a 90-degree angle, and of course, it's got this texture all over it. Like I said, guys, I see a lot. What I see is a lot of exploded parts all over the ground, and they're doing what they can to cover these up, like that weird thing that you called it a digger kind of thing. It had that weird shape. Look at this piece here. Not sure what that is. Just happens to be sticking right out of the ground. It looks like it's lighter here on the top, and then something more of darker color feature type thing underneath it. See that? Kind of crazy there. You just never know what you're going to find in these photos, guys. It's just weird, man. But it's cool at the same time, right? It's like a crackerjack box. You never know what you're going to find in these things. Look at this piece right here. You can see something right here. It's almost rounded. See this? Let me go zoom right in and I'll back out a little bit. Right here, you can see like a part of it. Like this could be completely round, and we're only seeing this very small part. But you can see a line, like a detail, and it's mimicking the same shape of this ring, this white piece. See that right there? And there's like a line going off in the back, like another detail. Which, let me just back out a little bit. Now look at that. It's like it's being purposely covered up so you don't see it what it really is, right? There you go, Pete. Sugar-coated Wheaties. Good one. I'm not sure what these glowing pieces are here. Might be something metallic, who knows, or something to do with the camera. Some kind of weird thing going on with it. But look at this. Look at the top of this. Where is the details in this? Where is it at? Spot blurring here, 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 and here. Look at this. What a mess this thing is. Clearly they're trying to hide something. Now, I've even thought about this. You know, some people would say, well, how do you know they're even hiding structures? How do you know it's not something else? Well, from the shapes we've seen in these things, clearly they look like structures, right? Like in the last video. And then you've got, okay, let's suppose we're way off base. Why are they hiding? What are they hiding then? Is it nothing more than just organics? It's just trees, bushes, whatever it may be. Either way, they're hiding something in these photos, and they should be hiding it from the public, whatever it is. But we have seen signs of what look like structures and all kinds of crazy things in these photos. Look at this piece here. What is this? Looks like it has this hook part to it right here, coming down, nice straight edge, and of course they put this crap over the top of it on this end of it, in the back. But you can see that straight line going like this. It looks like it actually comes up a little bit right there. Has that hook, comes back down. The shape of that. That's not natural there. There's no way that's natural. There's something here with a nice curved edge to it right there. Nice 90-degree angle right at the end of it. A lot of times you're only going to see like a small bit of it, maybe half of it, or a quarter of it, or something just barely peeking out. But you'll see it. It's there. Go back in the foreground here. Again, why is rocks all of these highly contrasted areas? It just makes no damn sense. No, Renee, they only sent like a probe to like a lander as well as a rover on the moon. There is no astronauts up there as of yet. Richard Frosty said maybe they're hiding it to put other countries off wanting to go there for themselves to snoop around. Well, that's a good point. Could very well be. It seemed to me when I glanced over this last time, there's some kind of weird looking rock or something that had legs to it. I'm like, oh, that's nice. But I mean, you know, you just see these weird things like this here. I mean, you couldn't make a heads or tails of what it is, but look at the spaces, like there's 1, 2, 3 pieces. One at the top, 2, 3. Just the way that looks. Look at that. Is that a simple rock? Mm-mm. Yeah, they definitely changed up the way they do this manipulation. There's no doubt. You get like a little peek of something sticking out, like something shiny. Looks like something right here they forgot to take out. There's something like it almost has a straight edge top and bottom of that. And it's just a mist of all of that garbage. One of the antennas to the rover. UHF. Or the VHF one. I'm trying to remember if that was a UHF. UHF. What's this object right here? Almost looks like a piece of metal, like a gray piece of metal sticking up, and then you get the white piece on top of it. See that? You can see it kind of coming up. It almost has like a little bit of a bend to it, and then it has a straight piece going across. All right, Miss Haird, you getting out of here? He said, it's been real, it's been fun, and it's been real fun. I got to go, everyone. Take care, be blessed, be positive. Good to have you in there. Thank you for your support, as always, Miss Haird, and you have yourself a good evening and a good and great weekend there, right? Yeah, I don't even live far from the road. I think it was, who said it? John Sharp. I can hear Mopar trucks going past your house. Well, you may actually hear it too. I've got like the AC just came on and stuff, but you can periodically hear a truck or car go by. What's this little thing? Check this out. Almost looks like a bird type thing. It's got like this piece coming out. Nice straight edge, 90-degree angle. Got a body to it right there. And it looks like there's something sticking out of the other side of it. Like another type piece, just like it on the opposite side. You guys see that? Right there. I'll go around with my cursor real slow. Right there you can see what looks like, again, a flat piece. The body of it, whatever it is. And then another piece hanging off the right-hand side of it. Only it's just barely noticeable, but right there. What the hell is that? Piece on the left-hand side of this. Look at the segments of this piece. Check this out. 1, 2, almost looks like 3 squares. Almost like this round piece with all these little parts in it. Not sure what to make of that. Stephen Barber, you said, why are they trying to hide stuff in the first place? Well, it comes down, it could be national security, could be about, being greedy, wanting all the technology, whatever they're finding on the planet. And I'm still looking at this as I'm talking to you. But this whole body of this thing, look at this, the whole body seems to be something mechanical. And something right there, like I said, I'm not sure what the hell that is. There you go, Mamie. Swamp gas duck. There you go. I mean, just the littlest things. I mean, you might say, oh, you can't see nothing in there. But when you start to just take your time, look at some of these things, you got to question. You could say, well, that does look like a rock. And then some pieces you go, well, not so much. There's no reason why these rocks should be highly contrasted when this area is completely fine right here in the middle. That looks fine. Go to the left, complete trash. What are they doing that for? Unless there's something that's being hidden, they don't want you to see that's laying on the ground. And the best way to do it, instead of doing every individual part, just completely white the whole thing, the whole section right out. And that's what they've done here. Mars Times, he said, hi, Chris. If and when the truth comes out, your channel will explode. Well, I think a lot of people's will. I mean, if they've been analyzing these things, like John Ward was in here earlier. I don't think he's in here now. Jimmy Roberts. There's a lot of people out there doing these things. Excuse me. And I think what they're doing is they're, if they find this out, and like you said, the truth does come out, then everybody's going to be like, oh, damn. I guess I've been telling the truth. Why wouldn't we? Gamer taking off too? All right, Gamer, 2020, have yourself a good one. But that's who's taking off? Or are you just saying thumbs up to him, James? What are all those little dots you said, Raquel? I don't know. I mean, like I said, half the stuff you see in here, you're just like, wow, what is this? Here's another thing I want to show you. I noticed this in the background. I wonder what does this. Look at the way you got these almost like right there. Look at the rectangular shapes in the side of this so-called mound. I don't think this is a mountain at all. I mean, this could be something that was structured. See how they like took this out? Like there was something right here, but they put all of this right here, this texture inside it. You can actually see the line of it. Look at the line of the texture right there. See that? Goes like this here, comes down underneath this, what looks like almost like a round piece, and goes across, and all of a sudden we get this rectangular cutout. I don't think that's natural, guys. What do you guys think of that? In fact, it almost looks like there's something round peeking out the side of it. And you can see right there where they literally took something out that was sitting right there. You guys see that? Something round right there on the ground. Not sure what that is. Another round piece. I think this is an exploded area. There's no doubt in my mind that they're looking at it. This is like a recon mission, guys. It's an exploded area on Mars. I'm sure there's more than one because the planet, really got hit by these blasts, and they went into even if they weren't affected on the other side of the planet, then they definitely had some kind of nuclear winter. If they were kind of like Earth at the time, and it basically killed off everything on the planet. But that doesn't mean it can't grow back, right? Think about it. There's some interesting little shapes and pieces over here in the middle of the screen. Not sure what to make of that. I saw this. This is pretty interesting. Almost looks like they really tried to take this out. Almost like this weird turret kind of thing. Well, you can see it's rounded right here. I'm going to put it in the middle of the screen. It looks like it's kind of slanted down on the hill, but you can see it looks like a round base to it right here. Right? And then something right on top of it. It's got these pieces hanging off. You guys see that? They try to blend it in really well, but right there, got this round base, and it almost looks like there's something on top of this round base, and it has these two pieces sticking out of it. And, of course, they've done their best to blend it in, but I find that a little interesting as well, right? And this is, come on, look at this. This is natural. I think people need to start waking up. They really do. That is not natural in any way, shape, or form. And like I said, unless it's melted, but that item right there, I said it looks like they definitely went to town to try to take out the whatever that is. All right, Kenny, you jumping off. Good night, guys. See you next week. Keep up the good work, Chris. You are some mate. Well, I appreciate it, Kenny. Good to have you in there, brother. And we'll see you next time, right? And if we do have an extra one, an extra hangout, you guys will be alerted to it. I'll make sure you guys know about it. We'll see what the week brings here coming up. I'd like to have another one. Share a couple more of these, right? Exactly, Noodles. Get woke, peeps. Absolutely. If any of you guys jumped in there and haven't given me a thumbs up, slam the thumbs up button. Appreciate yous. Because here's the thing, again, it's about the algorithms here on YouTube. The more people thumbs it up, the more apt they are to share it. And we are trying to get the information out, so that's what we're trying to do here, right? And you guys play a huge role in that because I can't thumbs up myself, right? So, yeah. You guys can do it. Just slam it down if you haven't done it. It's always appreciated. And, again, it helps get the information out. John Shaw, that's a great question. I don't know. He said, was it us that nuked them? Well, I mean, again, in 1941, there was 2 explosions. They had seen it. One guy at an observatory saw it in 1941. It was not on the ground. It was in the atmosphere itself. And then later on, Dr. John Brandenburg, they checked it out. They looked into this with other scientists and found out that it was definitely a nuclear blast, and it was right there in the Cydonia region. And funny enough, just about every lander and rover is in that area, just below or south of that area. And funny enough, it's the only area around the planet they're basically at. Well, within reason, because they are spread out hundreds of miles away. But they're on the equatorial region. And, so funny enough, it's like nuclear explosion, all kinds of landers in the same area, just south of that area. We're seeing what looks like carnage and wreckage and everything else. And yet, so if you put all these pieces together, what it comes down to is you put all these pieces together, what do you got? So, yeah, it's pointing that way that they probably have done it themselves. And if we did do it too, because I even speculated that too, it's like, well, maybe they don't have much of a way to protect themselves. We'll just send a couple bombs over there and just take care of it. And we'll take what we want. And guys, I just noticed this just now. Look at this. I showed you this earlier. Rectangular area. What's on the other side of this mound? Look at this. Almost the same kind of thing going on this side. Like, why do we have what looks like only these distorted openings right there on this? Why is that? See it? It's almost like, we don't know the size of this area. That's the problem. Now, we see the rover, which is good, because it gives you a little bit of an idea. But again, if you guys are standing behind this, your head would be over this, or it'd be right around the height of this. If you're somewhere around 6 feet tall, this is the antenna, this is the UHF antenna, you'd be standing right next to this thing. How far are these things away? You could literally just stop walking, just walk around this area, supposed dirt area, which I doubt. Almost has like a square. I just realized that. Almost looks like it has a square area. Look at it. Martian swimming pool. Sweet. But, all kidding aside, look at it. Looks like you can literally walk over here, take a stroll, walk in over here, and see these things right between these hills. They're not mountains, hills. It almost looks like there's something sitting behind these things. Look at this. That's pretty neat if you ask me. Let's put this whole area right in there. Look at this. Right behind this mound, and we're still seeing it over here. Almost looks like, look at this. Almost like there's the front of it. Yeah, it's the front of a vehicle. There you guys go. Big train. You guys die if it was a train, right? I'd die if it was a train. But it almost looks like it's structural. Almost like you can see a very faint framework or something right here. Of course, that may be nothing but the manipulation, right? I don't know. What do you guys think of that? Yep, guys, just speak the truth. That's what it's all about. You know? Now, and I've said this repeatedly, right? I said, listen, we may be misinterpreting what we're even seeing here, period. But when you see something like this, you can't help but to say that's manufactured somehow. So whatever it is doesn't really matter, does it? Or, you know, people... Excuse me. My mouth is dry here. It's like, you know, people will say, well, what's the scale of this? Well, the good thing is we have the reference point of the Curiosity rover. Now, the Curiosity rover is 7 feet to the top of the mast once it's actually erected. So 7 foot to the top of the mast. That doesn't mean the deck of the rover is. So, and I had pictures I had shown where it showed the scientists were standing right next to this, and their face was pretty much even with this antenna. Okay, picture yourself standing there. Just take a walk. Go between these things, and what is hidden behind here? What are we seeing behind these mountains or between these hills? They look like it's structural. Now, let's say this rover wasn't even here. We go, well, what are these, like 2 feet wide, long? Or are they 150 feet in length? What are they? Well, to me, it matters, but it doesn't, because whatever it is, it's intelligently made. That's my whole point of the things. So, although it's not irrelevant, because we'd like to know the size of it, it's still the point is it's being hidden, one, and two, it's on Mars. And why are they hiding it? Well, I think we all know the answer to that. Well, at least got a vague answer to it, right? Well, who's saying? Raquel, you said, see the clouds? Well, these are supposed to be the background or the rim of Gale Crater, because they're inside a crater. And this is supposed to be the outside wall or just other mountains. So they're just blurring this out. And it looks like a texture to me. Look at it. Sad. But they may, oh, no, it's off in the distance, so therefore, you know, it just looks that way. Whatever. Every time you see off in the distance, it's always like that. And I don't believe that at all. I think this is all fake in the background. I think it's complete trash. I think they're in a totally different area than they're saying. They just want to make it look like, yeah, it's so small. We're just in this little crater, which it's quite large. So I don't believe that. Look at this piece right here. Kind of weird. It has like this piece right here. 1, 2, 3, and I don't see if I can see any other holes there, but there's 1, 2, 3, it looks like, right here. This piece. Back it a little bit. So what do you guys think of that? Some crazy looking little things there, right? What is this kind of rounded thing on the back here? I'm not sure what to make of that. It almost looks like it has a white rectangular piece on the left-hand side of it, and kind of like a round spherical look to the other side. See that? Not sure what to make of that, but it's sticking out of the rocks, supposed rocks. It could be. Don't get me wrong, Timothy. You know, you said could it actually be fog, Chris? It could very well be, but being that this background, I've seen this many a times where it just looks so darn fake, man. It's just like it's totally manufactured, almost like they can put anything they want there. Now, I'm not saying it cannot be real. It could very well be fog, and It's just a perfect way. It's like, well, all we got to do is just hide the rest of it, that people can see. So, yeah, there's always that chance it's the real deal, right? Of course. Absolutely. This piece right here. Almost like a flat piece of something or other. Something whiter sticking right out of the top of it right there. Actually, the whole thing goes over here, too. Interesting. Got two things on the top. 1, 2, and of course there's some kind of crap. You can see where they put it right here. Right there, they got it inside. Like the judge tried to want like that, just kind of like covered over it real quick. But something pretty good size right there. Not sure what to make of that. Okay, here's a perfect example. Look at the way this goes from this to mush. How does that happen? Yeah, I hate the idea they come up with a new technique on this. It really burns my backside. We're going to use that term. Because they clearly, this is like an easier way for them to do it. It blocks out everything they need to block out. But that doesn't mean we can't get through it. We've done it a million times. This to me is all crap right here in the middle. I guarantee there's something showing right there and they completely took it out. Like I said, we've seen this earlier, this piece here. Almost like there's one piece. Look at this. Almost has this look on it. It almost looks like it's artificial, but is it? I don't know. Look at this right here. Whatever that piece is. All right, Lance Miss Blanco, you said, okay, peeps, my internet is up and down. We are having a bad windstorm. I'm out. See you next week. All right, Lance Miss, be safe. And, yeah, don't let anything happen over there. Be safe, and we'll see you later on. Thanks for stopping in, and as always, right there. Let me see. Exactly, Pete. You said has to be something important to manipulate this much. Absolutely. Like I said, I don't care if it's just trees. Okay, they claim that there's no life on the planet whatsoever. So, and I think there's much more than that. I think we can all agree on that. There's much more than, I think there's all kind of organic life. I think there's all kinds of crazy stuff on this planet, and they're just not going to let you see that. And more importantly, they'd rather block everything out. Even if you said, well, that's just a weird rock, doesn't look like a rock. Well, they'll say, well, it's your perception. I mean, it's your pareidolia, so clearly it could be anything you want it to be. No, that's not true, because when I see things that look like a pipe or some kind of structural object, I'm sure in hell not going to think of anything else but that. But they'll just say, they'll just blow it off. What I don't understand is how a lot of scientists don't look at this stuff and say that. So I don't get that at all. Yeah, no matter how, John, I do whatever I can, but for some reason when I'm in this software, I cannot get this down arrow to go larger no matter what I do to this thing. And I'll tell you what, I've had this thing like it's huge on my screen, and yet when you guys see it, it's very small. So I don't know what the dilly is here. I'd love to be able to get this thing a lot bigger, and I've tried, and yet I can't. That sounds like a personal problem. That's not good. But look at this. Here's a perfect example. Okay, somewhat clear, doesn't look half bad, and here's that piece I was telling you guys, has that kind of hook feature to it. Well, let's just take a look over to the right. What just happened? Now, understand there are a lot of photos stitched together to make this pan, but did they actually put this photo out looking like this? Why would they do that? Makes no sense, does it? This right here, come on. Oh, it's snowing up there. That's what the problem is. Look, it's all that frost. Renee Cruz, my UFO debunker friend, Heathcliff Spencer Peters, Lion Ground, is going to team up with and help my other UFO friend secure Team 10. Renee, I'll be honest with you. I've seen that. I watched it. He shouldn't need permission to run his channel from anybody. When I seen that, I actually infuriated me. I was trying to get a hold of Tyler because I was just going to tell him, I'm going to give him some guidelines what to do. He doesn't need permission to do anything on that channel. He should be able to do it the way, all he's got to do is put a disclosure. These are for entertainment purposes only. please watch whatever. Put a disclaimer in every beginning of his videos and just run with it. He doesn't need anybody's permission to run his channel or not, or be shut down by somebody. That kind of aggravated me. And I'm just being truthful from one YouTuber to another and to an uploader to another. I just, like, they're trying to get him by the nads, say, because he's gave him X amount of strikes because of, he's not being honest. It's like, first of all, when did you turn into the YouTube police? That's first and foremost. Secondly, you shouldn't be doing that to anybody's channel. Let them do their own thing. And if Tyler wanted to, if he was smart, he would just say, listen, I'm going to put a disclaimer in the front of my videos and below in the title or in the description saying, this is what, it's for entertainment purposes only. Some of these are real events and some are not. Because Tyler did say right out that, yeah, he kind of like went through some, he made some videos, but he didn't fact check on some of these. And therefore, some of it was bogus. And of course, he got screwed. And it wasn't the real deal, right? James, thank you for the support as usual. Let's get the blind a cloth for their glasses, man. Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. Yeah, Renee, I mean, like I said, I wasn't even sure who this other guy was, to be truthful with you. And I'm saying this guy's got, like, really no subscribers. And it seems like he's just trying to knock him down because Tyler was doing pretty well with his channel. And, I despise that. There's nothing I despise more than somebody just trying to, be a jerk to somebody else's channel. And someone's like, oh, he's getting all kinds of money. He's getting, okay, he could do the same thing. And I just found it interesting that he just come out with that. And I'm thinking, what is this all this hoopla about? So after I watched his Tyler, because I guess the other guy, Lions Ground, whatever the hell he's called, was able to, I guess he allowed him to make keep in mind, allowed him to make a video, and then he posted it. I was like, why does this guy need permission? Why does Tyler need permission from anybody to run his channel? Because I think Tyler said he had one more strike against him and his channel's completely history. Okay, again, disclaimer it, be done with it, run with it. That's the way I look at it. Shouldn't be policing anybody. Let them do their thing. And if people want to follow them, then let them follow him. If they say, no, I think he's crap, I'm not going to follow him, don't. I mean, you know what I mean? I'm sure he's not going to lose sleep at night. That's the way I look at it. Yeah, Timothy, you agree with me, right? Yeah, Renee Vaughn, yeah, he's Dutch. Like I said, I don't have any problem with somebody saying, well, I kind of think the guy's like he's put on disinformation, whatever. I mean, but who are you to be the police on this? People are either going to follow it as entertainment or they're going to say, well, I'm seeing what he's showing. Now, whether some of it's bogus, and like he said, Tyler said right out, listen, I made a mistake. I didn't fact check some of these things, and they turn out to be bogus or hoaxes, and and of course he got, a lot of people laid into him about it. Okay, he's not a perfect guy. We can all make mistakes. I mean, this was pretty neat too, guys. This thing. But to me, reiterate, yeah, no, I wouldn't need permission to run my damn channel from anybody. I don't care who they are. They don't have the right to do it. And because, like I said, he's, I think it was Tyler's only source of income. So he's trying to, I don't know if I want to use the term kissing butt, but he's trying to go with the flow so that he can get back into the rhythm. And I understand that. But it's like, again, disclaimer your channels in the beginning, even in your description, and run with it. So now you're telling YouTube, listen, I'm just saying to these people, it's a disclaimer, it's entertainment for purposes only, blah, 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 blah. Please watch and enjoy, whatever. So now they get the hint, they get the clue, no permission from nobody, run with your channel, and that's it. Lionheart Glassworks, you said your work is amazing. I would love to see you and Jean Ward collaborate. He could do a sky view and do the ground view classic. Yeah, well, we were just talking about it because he was in here earlier, Jean Ward, and I said, and I gave him props. I always do because he does great work. I said, that he's doing the satellite views and I'm doing the ground views. But like I explained to him last time, a buddy of mine, Peter, he's a lithographics expert, and he literally went through these photos and said, yeah, it's absolute crap. He's seen this years ago, how they were faking these photos, and he can tell. He's the one that taught me how to go into the different raw plating of these photos and see the manipulation. He's the one that taught me that. So I give him props for that. And he hasn't been doing this for years because he's actually a musician. He likes to play a lot of reggae and stuff like that. But he used to go by a channel, Space Cadet, and had a lot of good stuff. And his channel's still up, but he just doesn't make any more videos. But, you know, it's like I said, he's actually done where we've done a curiosity view on the Sol, and then it was supposed to be that area. It gave you a description about where it was at. And then what we would do is we'd look at the aerial or the satellite photograph of the area, and a lot of times it was different. It wasn't where they say it was, or it was totally changed, or it wasn't. So it's kind of hard to do that. But nonetheless, like I said, Jean was in there earlier. We were talking, and I said, yeah, you're doing great work as usual. I check out his videos, and a lot of the aerial stuff there, right? Really cool. And some of the stuff he's finding, these megalithic rocks and stuff. Speaking of rocks, you can see where they put this texture over this piece right here. You can see the white piece behind it doing this here, and it has, we can see almost a 3/4 of a circle. I'm going to back out, get it to be a little bit clearer. And it looks like parch just laying there, and they're just putting this texture over it to hide whatever this is. Looks like something arched right here, right there. And it's got something white inside it. You guys see that? Something right there. Guys, they're hiding so much stuff, and that's the point. People need to see this because, you know, because the stuff is actually there. And what I find interesting is, like I said, I don't know why no scientists are questioning these guys and saying, listen, what are you doing here? What's up? This other piece. You can see this right here. It's white, and look at how it keeps going, and then all of a sudden the colors are changed. You see it coming down right here, coming down here very, very faintly. Whatever that thing is, right there in the middle. I'll put it smack dab in the middle of the page. I don't know what that is. Oh, yeah, Renee, no doubt. I mean, you said that Tyler's in last-ditch effort to save his channel and get the 2 strikes rescinded and sold out to Heath. I love them both. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I don't, you know, I wouldn't need permission from him. And like I said, I've actually wrote to Tyler. He never did write me back. I was going to give him some, basically word of advice. Again, you know, put yourself a disclaimer and run. You know, talk to them guys first. Say, listen, if I do this, do that, go by the guidelines. I'm good, okay? And as long as it's by their guidelines, you have nobody else can say anything about your channel. Nobody can do anything about it. You're doing within the guidelines. And as long as you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, nobody's got a word to say about it. It doesn't matter what any other YouTuber says or any other channel is trying to take him down for whatever reason. He claims it's just because, oh, he's being dishonest. No, he wasn't, because he didn't know. And the fact he didn't, you know, fact check doesn't make him a liar. It just means he was kind of didn't really check the facts, so he didn't know. But still made for good entertainment regardless, right? That's the way I look at it. Well, I hope that's the case, Renee. You said, well, we all understand that Tyler's UFO channel was pretty much dead and that people on drugs need help. That's way Heath wants to help. Well, I mean, if it's in, you know, if he's doing it for the good, it's one thing. But if that's the case, then why was he trying to shut his channel down? It makes no sense. He was literally dogging him and everything else. He's putting out this, and he's had many videos, you know, basically trying to take his channel down. And like I said, that's really none of my business, but I just feel it's kind of crappy to do something to somebody else's channel to keep trying to take him down. For what reason? I mean, the guy had a popular channel. You know, whether you follow, I mean, he had a great following. What do you have, like 2.1 million subscribers? And people will show jealousy of that. You know, and they'll do anything they can. Oh, he's lying to the people. What was he lying about? Because he didn't fact check some of the stuff, so now suddenly he's a complete hoaxer. Now, he has said in the past, yeah, he would just put these things together and out they'd go. And he's probably just trying to get videos out because he's putting out, what, 1, maybe 2 almost a day? So, yeah, I mean, that's a good possibility. He's just throwing them together to get them out. Okay. But he didn't have like old warmongering or fearmongering videos. I mean, he did say there's like some videos with like booms and stuff like that in the sky and different other things. I mean, which I found interesting. I didn't see anything wrong with the channel. But, you know, difference of opinion, I guess. Jesse, you said, hey, Chris, here for another chill anomaly hunting stream. Always a good time. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know, Renee. I would at least pleaded to YouTube, and I'm sure he's probably talked to him. I'm sure of that. But the way I look at it is like this. It's like if somebody would have threatened my channel, I would have went right to YouTube immediately and said, listen, I know that's what Tyler said. He said, I guess he talked to him, but it's like, I would have asked him, what would you like me to do to abide by the guidelines? Should I put some kind of disclaimer to tell that? And if they said yes, that would be fine. Then you'd be accepted. We can take care and squash this. End of discussion. You don't need nobody else's permission. I think it's crap. I mean, it doesn't matter if, because everybody's going to have their own difference of opinion as far as like, oh, is this stuff real? Is it not? If they're trying to tell the truth, like I'm trying to do on this channel, it's like I'm trying to bring out the truth, what I'm seeing, and then we try to pick this apart. That's why I always tell you guys, what do you guys think? I'm not trying to jam it down anybody's throat. This is what I think it looks like. Is it? No way to know. No, it's just, again, I've said this a million times. It's just, there's no way you can vet any of this because we can't go pick it up. We can't look at it. We can't analyze it. But together we can look at it and say, okay, that kind of does look like this, or clearly it's not natural. It's intelligently made. And that's why I get your input. I don't know it all. Nobody knows it all. But basically an effort between everybody, combined effort, we can see what these things are, or at least, have a look at them, right? So if you're not being dishonest and not purposely being dishonest, well, then people should just pretty much F off. That's the way I look at it. I don't think he deserves it. Do you guys think Tyler deserves it? Now, he's come right out and said, listen, I made mistakes. I screwed up. I did this. I did that. And the guy is at least, he's trying to be open. Now, it may be because of a threat because he's going to basically lose his livelihood. And I get that. But, and it may be, like you said, a last-ditch effort. But to me, I think that's kind of a crappy thing to do to somebody. That's just my, that's just my opinion. Nothing more. James, you said, Chris, man, bang on. It's called jealousy, jealousy, jealousy. Just like many more people that are jealous of you. Let's be honest about it, for F's sakes. I call it how I see it. I see, people make mistakes. I've made mistakes. I'm not perfect by any stretch of the means. I'm sure everybody here has made some kind of mistake they wish they hadn't done. Okay. Does that mean you should be crucified for it? Now, whatever allegations it was of him in the past, that's none of my damn business. And people should stay out of it. He's got videos showing him when he was arrested, blah, 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 blah. What for? What's the point? I mean, I don't know. I think everybody deserves a second chance. I think he should be able to just do what he's got to do, and people should just leave him the hell alone. That's the way I look at it. I had a friend of mine, we were friends at one point, and I did a video way back about Pluto. And then suddenly he wanted to be the truth police, and he was so wrong about what because he said, oh, I used to do, he went to school for photoshopping and stuff like that, so I was considered wrong. And so when he dogged me about, and he didn't say my name, but he said, oh, I just want to be the truth. I want to tell the truth about, some of these people really irk me. And one of the photos that I enhanced, he had showed. And I said, oh, really? I said, so I replied to him in a video and showed him how wrong he really was because he was talking about compression artifacts, saying that what I showed was compression artifacts, and I showed him it was not compression artifacts at all. Here are the real ones. And then everybody's like, oh, my God, Chris, yeah, you totally told him. I said, oh, people just want to dog your work, man. That's all there is to it. I've seen that, MG Toe, yeah. Well, like I said, he has lied. He had said that. And that's the one he had done about the synthesized voice and stuff like that. So he was lying to the people trying to get more clicks and everything, but he come out and said it. Yeah, I made mistakes. I did stuff I shouldn't have done, blah, 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 blah. And now he's seeing it shot himself in the foot. So now he's like, oh, now I need to fly in a straight and narrow. But, okay, do that. Tell the people you're going to do that. Tell YouTube, make the disclaimer, and then run with it. Why does anybody need to give him permission to run his channel? Other than YouTube, right? It's kind of like your boss at work. You don't have to please anybody at work. You're there. As long as your boss sees you doing the right thing, you're there. You're doing your job. The rest of people, who gives a shit? They don't pay you. You know what I mean? Your employer pays you. Why don't YouTube shut NASA down? They're the biggest fakers. Good one, Richard. Yeah, no doubt. Timothy, you said that nowadays your work is involved with who you are on private time. Well, pretty much, right? Glenn Darren, you said nothing against Tyler, but the world will go on just fine without his channel. Plenty of places to get honest quality UFO paranormal content, including right here. He needs to focus on getting right. Well, that's what he's trying to do, and I totally agree with you, Glenn. I totally agree. But like I said, everybody does their own thing. You know, people are going to follow you whether they believe you're right or wrong. I don't want to put out trash. I want to say, listen, this is what I believe it is. I want to show people what's really here and how they're manufacturing, covering up stuff. I showed you plenty of things the facts to back it up, how they're manipulating this stuff, and that's it. That's all there is to it. That's the way I look at it. By the way, this was MSL 2781 by Neville Thompson. You guys will get this link as well as all these other links here, the Wow Signal, Space News, stuff like that you guys can check out. It's pretty good stuff. James Gragan, you said, let's get him a second chance, as you said, man. Again, thanks for the support. Yeah, I mean, I think, like I said, he come out and said, I screwed up. I made a mistake. You know what I mean? He said, all I'm asking for is a second chance. He's asking his subs, not another YouTube uploader. He's just asking for his subs to forgive him and give him another chance. I don't think that's hard to ask. I don't think that's too hard to swallow. I don't know, John. That's a good question. You said, Chris, I'm wondering what the locals on Mars would have eaten. Well, I mean, if they had things like we have, like, trees and fruits and all kinds of other stuff, then they probably ate like that. Maybe they were more living off the land than what we do here on this planet, right? Or, I find it hard to believe they had restaurants, but who the hell knows? Clearly, if they had a civilization, they had to manufacture their food somehow, right? Look at this thing. What is that? It's got like little features in this thing. I just noticed that. A straight line up in the center of this rectangular area. And it's got this nice half-round bottom piece. It looks like it's half-round. What do you guys think about that? Well, Phil, maybe he'll straighten out and everything will be fine. Everything will be back to normal. Who knows, right? I think he'll be a lot more careful about what he does now. So, again, we'll see how it works out and plays out. Look at these pieces here. Almost like I said, there's like these weird little funky pieces, twisted pieces, whatever they are, just laying on the ground right next to the rover. Would you consider that a rock? I don't know. Yeah, there you go, James. Mars bars. Jerry, you said, why wouldn't NASA just say the cameras are broken and not show us anything? Well, again, people, they believe that we're the first people to see these photos. We're not. There was a big hype about this in the Congress because they're saying, listen, we're giving you guys money and you're not even showing what we want to say. In other words, we're not seeing the photos, what's going on. There was one time, I don't know if you guys remember this is a couple of years back with the Curiosity rover where it's like they said that, it was stuck and wasn't doing anything. And this went on for like 1 or 2 weeks where this thing wasn't doing anything. Well, scientists started getting pissed off because there's other scientists looking at this. It's not you and I to get to see these first. So my whole question would be, if they're seeing these photos that look like crap, why aren't they even questioning them? That's what I don't understand. I'd be like, why is it purposely blurring? Don't tell me the camera just happened to be blurred out. Or did somebody put a fingerprint on it and just happened to blur it out? Come on. That doesn't make any sense. It's, so everybody thinks, well, not everybody, but some people have this misconception like, well, as soon as it's sent on to us, it's automatically given to the public. Now, like I said, I believe these photos are like 30 days behind, so it gives them a chance to look at the photos, analyze them, whether it's, geologists looking at it, most likely it's scientists like from NASA so on and so forth, looking at these things. You got this open piece with this piece sticking right out of this rock. Not sure what the hell that is. And then, of course, then they're sent through the CGI department, and then we get the watered-down crap version of these, and that's what we see. So they have to actually produce these. They have to get these photos out because they're thinking, listen, we're going to give you this money. You better show us results. And, of course, you would not, you don't blame them, right? Renee, you said, awesome show, Chris. We're hitting all subjects, no stones left unturned. Well, I mean, if people are concerned about certain things, whether it be like this question we just asked about the cameras, stuff like that, do your best to answer it, or at least your opinion or your view of it, and that's it. There's simply opinions and nothing more. A lot of it could be facts because, again, these are facts because the scientists in Congress were kind of pissed. There was a lot of scientists, like a group of them were pissed going, hey, what the hell is this damn shit we're supposed to be getting? And then we're getting it. So now they're like, oh, God. So now you can see they changed up their routine or the way they modify these photos, and it's perfectly evident in this photo here. Where did I see that part that was like right here? Look at this. Look at the difference again from the right to the left of this. What are you kidding? It's right there. Facts. There they are, facts. I don't need to BS anybody. Here it is. Look at the texture they changed on. So whenever they want to change it over more and make it more like, I'm going to use the term totally absurd, to make it really hide something, there it is. The one on the right, and look at the one on the left. I can see on the left-hand side, I got that square we were talking about right here. You see like a 90-degree angle right there. It's white, and then it's been covered up by the rest of it. You can actually see it's got an angle right there on it. See the outside shape of this piece, and yet most of it's covered with this texture, this sand texture. Got something here, looks like some kind of weird pipe or something, or some kind of straight piece. See that? But then look at the difference in texture. I'm going to put it halfway, the screen right there, halfway. Look at the difference on each side. Tell me they haven't been changing this up. Facts. There you go. Oh, who made fun of your channel, Phil? You talking about Tyler or the other guy? Renee, you said yes. He disguised his voice and pretended he was a former military UFO, something or other, debunked by my other UFO debunker friend, Paul Skinner, the Out There channel. Well, you got to be called out to a certain degree. He shouldn't have done what he did. That's the way I look at it. Yeah, he screwed up royally. Should have never done that because then once people catch on, you kind of shot yourself in the foot. So now he's like, he's trying to play damage control, and I don't blame him because it's probably something he likes to do to begin with, like me. I like doing these videos, like finding these things like what looks like this piece, this round piece right in the middle of this rock cluster. Look at this. Look at the opening right there, like different openings in this rock. You get this round piece. But, once you do that, you shoot yourself in the foot. Your subscribers are like, see ya. But that's why you got to try to remain truthful as much as you can. Now, will you believe everything you see in a video? It doesn't mean mine. It could be anybody's. You may not. Okay. We're all human here. And some people could disagree with me. I don't have a problem with that. We all have our own minds, and that's what I want on my channel. I want good, critically thinking people on the channel. I don't want puppets. I don't want any of that. I want critically thinking people. That's kind of a funky looking piece. Look at this thing. Has a small piece sticking out right there. What is that? Even a little piece right there. You guys see that? That's pretty interesting right there. Coming right out of the top of this. And this piece coming out right here. Look at the shape of this. I don't know if that's light shining into this or what this is. It almost looks like a handle. See that? Back up a little bit. Yeah, MG you're right. He did. Now he's trying to get himself back together, and we'll see what happens. Hope for his sake he does and just flies straight, and then there you go, right? James, you said, Chris, as you said earlier, if they are telling us about the 4 signals from space, I bet there's 44 more they are not telling us. Yeah, absolutely. Because they just say, well, then they'll leave it kind of vague. Yeah, well, they think it's this, and it could be some kind of nebula, or some kind of whatever giving it off. But it could be a chance of maybe intelligent design, or, they're so vague about it. They just kind of toss it around. Hope you guys don't latch on to the actual idea there's actually aliens, They're doing it what they can. Look at this cluster right here. This looks like all manufactured. Look at this square right here. Round piece sticking out. Looks like it's raised off of that square piece. All these little design pieces. Look at rounded, sticking up. Different shapes in there. I don't know, guys. There's too many. It looks manufactured to me. What do you guys think about that right in the middle of the screen right there? Yep, no doubt about it. He definitely shot himself in the foot. Renee Vaughn, you're right about that. Only the elite will see unedited photos. Well, that's what it's all about. Timothy, make me look like an a-hole. For watching you, I'd be mad as hell. Don't make me look like a crazy person purposely. I do a good job on my own. Good one. Michael Stark, what's going on? You said, what's up, Chris? Happy Friday, everyone. What's going on? Raquel, you said a cluster surrounding an opening, perhaps. Well, I mean, I see these like little pieces. Like there's one here. Like this almost looks like a square piece with a raised piece coming off of it. You got another piece down here, and it's got these straight pieces running down off the bottom. See that? Then you got one that almost looks round at the top. It looks like it's got some height to it. And you know, look at all these little bitty pieces on the, like on the right here. This right here. It's like too many pieces that look like they're protruding out into different shapes, and they look like consistently to something that would be intelligently made. That's what it looks like to me. And again, right here to the left is that other weirdness right here. If the new people that jumped in didn't see this, but look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look at the way that thing is made, man. That's cool. And again, right in this brighted area, you have what looks like this rectangular area. And another piece here. Looks like it has this 90-degree angle piece coming down like this, like a design in this thing. See that? Yeah, there's just two areas alone that look like there's manufactured items. Right there alone. We don't have to go anywhere else in this gigapan. There it is. Oops. All right, John. John Sharp, good seeing you. He said, I need to sleep for work. Good night tonight. Great night tonight, I'm sorry. Have yourself a good one, man. Appreciate you being here. James, you said, Chris, again, your channel is just top of the range and great comments from everyone tonight. Again tonight. I would like to say that we all love your work, man. Mars, Anomalies, and Beyond is the best. Well, I mean, again, try to be true to everybody. And I love doing this because I don't want... Listen, I've done many photos where... This is no word of a lie. And I've said this before. That was a nice bike. But, you know, I've said this before. I said, listen, if I looked at many photos, and I have, I look at them, okay, and something's vague in there. It's not clear enough to see anything. I'm not going to guess it. Off it goes. Now, don't get me wrong. We can see stuff like this. It's blurry, but that's the pan. That's not something we're trying to do to fool the public. This is the pan. This is what comes out from NASA. So what we try to do is say, listen, here it is. This is what we got. Be honest. And then there you go. And that's all you can do. And just try to do the best you can. I enjoy doing this. So I'm not going to sit here and fool myself. And I'm sure in hell not going to take the time to fool you guys. Here it is. Top of the left, right there. What is that thing right there? And then we get all these little crazy pieces on the lower right. That, to me, right off the bat, boom. Clearly, that's no rock. Yeah, it would. Actually, Raquel, you're right. It said, be good to know the size. Well, again, let's just pan back. Okay, let's keep it right where it is. You can see the wheel marks. Now, these wheel marks, keep in mind, they're 20 inches wide. Okay? So, there you go. That's how big that thing is. Here's the area. Now, from here to here, on these pieces here, we can see the width. Now, keep in mind, this thing's rolling over, if these are real tracks, that is. Let me see. I think there's another set of them here. Where did I see the other ones? A little bit clearer. Right here. Okay. From here to here is 20 inches wide. See that? Okay. So here's the other wheel marks here. So it gives you an idea. This piece up here, it almost looks like a giant mechanical heart. This piece right here, here's your wheel mark. Let's say it was 10 inches wide at the base, because it looks like it's at least half of the width of that wheel mark. And then you got a bunch of these little pieces right here, all clustered together. From here to here, they make almost the width of that wheel track, right? There you go. So if that's a real wheel mark, it gives you some kind of guesstimation how big that thing could be, right? Richard Frost says, remember to hit like to support channel. Yes, absolutely. If you guys haven't hit this thumbs up, I appreciate it if you did. Again, it helps the algorithm with YouTube, and it helps get this thing, and it gets shared more often. So, and you guys you're the only guys that can do this. You guys are playing the part to help get this out, right? And we always get great support on this channel anyway. You guys are awesome. Nothing but love to everybody on here. Some people just talk that, just saying it, but I actually do, and I enjoy this. Look at it. We've actually been on here for what, 3.5 hours now? So, I mean, it's just cool to be able to do this, right? And it's kind of good to do it because it's basically still locked down. Not too many people can do a whole lot of things. So, yeah. MJ420X. Awesome channel, Chris. Keep up the good work, man. Well, I appreciate you there. Yeah, Miss Harriet, I was just saying that. I said, because I was just saying I nothing but love everybody on this channel, and I've been saying that, hell, I didn't realize, look, we're just sitting here talking, going back and forth, showing stuff on this, and talking about every topic that we've talked about, and look at it, it's 8:31, which I'm going to be signing off anyway, because it's been that late, and I need to go and get something to eat, and maybe parched. My throat is parched. You can probably hear my voice changing. You said James Creek, James, you said peace, man, and to everyone again, tonight, Chris, you tear the photos to bits. NASA don't have a touch on you, man. Honest, I don't care. Yep. Raquel, you said one would think that they would try to... What? Try to left on the surface of those flat rocks. Well, again, like I said, they're trying to hide anything they can. But if you really, really take a good close look at these things, if you don't want to zoom in that close, just back out a little bit and use a magnifier so it doesn't look too distorted, and you can figure that out. And you can see it, right? And again, look at this piece of trash on the right-hand side of that. When they say they're changing up their techniques and stuff like that, some people are like, oh, they wouldn't hide nothing in it. Oh, come on, man. Here's the proof right here. I mean, how much more do you need? Renee, there's a tank roaming around somewhere. I see tracks. Yeah, that's from the Curiosity Rover right here. That's a 6-wheeled electric rover right there. There's your power plant right there. There's your hydrodirectional antenna, X-band antenna. Here's your UHF antenna right there, the omnidirectional. And again, your power plant. And of course, your suspension pods and all that other good stuff. Oh, yeah. So, but that's what you're seeing. Those are the wheel tracks from it. And just some crazy stuff on here. Just cool. I mean, like I said, just these 2 items alone just say 1,000 words, right? Lucky Molly said, we love your work, man. Thanks for your dedication to this field. Much appreciated. Well, again, I started out this channel, but this is basically your channel. That's what it comes down to. Because, anybody can lie about it and say, oh, no, this is my channel, blah, 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 blah. Well, it is. It's my channel, but it wouldn't be a channel without subscribers. Got to have people to watch it for it to be a channel. So that's what it comes down to. So, love you guys all. You know that. I enjoy spending the Friday evenings here talking with you guys, and from A to Z. Some topics we try to stay off of because you know how that can get touchy, and I really don't like to do that like we did last week, and we're not going to do that anymore. Because we want to keep it friendly. Everybody's great people here. Everybody gets along. Yeah, I know, James, right? And I actually have some drink right here. Of course, I got a fan running, too, which actually dries out your throat, which is not good. But anyway, so And like I said, I enjoy doing this. Like-minded people. Everybody's just great people here. They talk amongst yourselves. It's just awesome. And that's what I love about this channel. Love all the subs here. Good people. Yeah, exactly. Wanderson Cardoso, yeah. The Rover, clear. Exactly. It's like you come over here and that thing is as clear as it can be. Look at this. But then you go down here. Why all these rocks look like that? Look at it. Completely highlighted because they're taking the tool and they're just going like this and going over them. Or they just brought up the exposure so darn high that anything that's got like a somewhat shiny rock is just like completely like just comes out like that. Whatever, right? But again, we get this cutout right here. See this? On this rock. And then we get the piece in here. It kind of echoes the shape of that cutout. What does that? Naturally, right? James, no covert here. Yeah, Miss Heard. Yeah, I mean, it's a great community we have here, and I couldn't ask for better people, man. It's good that you guys have made the channel what it is, and nothing but appreciation for everybody here, But again, it's funny because I'll tell my wife, all right, I'll be out in a couple hours. She said, yeah, okay, I'll see you about 8:30. I said, hey, I can't help it. It's just a great bunch of people, and it's just awesome to be able to do these, every Friday. It's cool. Hate to miss them, too. Let's see. Yeah, I'll have to check that out too, Renee. You just said the same thing you said about Phil Cox. I see I've shared your new videos. I'm going to watch tomorrow. Phil Cox and daughters and Jessica and Kelsey Brown. Richard Mortimer. He said not a speck of dust on that Rover. Well, I mean, I think there is some, but yeah. I mean, you see the thing. It's like, it's pretty clean. But see, you're not actually seeing the deck of the Rover. If you've seen it, it'd be really, really bad. And, again, it's like dust all over it. But you see this right now, it looks pretty darn clear. Now, it does get windy, so it can blow the dust right off it. Of course, it can also put it back on, right? Yeah. Now, here's a perfect example. Why do we see the ground going into the part of this Rover? See that? Look at this. Why is that? Because they're hiding whatever around this Rover. And then whatever this was right here, it was too close to the Rover. So they said, well, just go ahead and make that a little sand dune in between there. And they literally just went into the part of the Rover. What that, guys? I'm going to let everybody go. That's just crazy. All right, guys. Again, thanks, everybody, for being here. Let me go ahead and put my mug back in here to scare everybody. Let me go right there. Jump off of this. All right. Let me see. Anyway, guys, again, great bunch of people. Love you guys all. You guys are the best. It's what makes up the channel. Great bunch of people. And like-minded people. It's awesome. And like I said, great discussion tonight about A to Z, pretty much everything. The wow signal really it can get the imagination. And if a lot of these are true as far as the transmissions and that other one, that SOS signal, it makes you wonder. Just think about that a little bit. If you were another planetary body or you're in some kind of other solar system and you're thinking about this and you're like, wow, this must be, these people are like desperately looking for help and they're just transmitting this out, hoping that somebody will come for their aid and help them out. Just a lot of crazy things we can talk about on this channel, and that's what I love. But again, politics, religion, out. We're not going to talk about that no more. It's just not worth it. We did touch on it a little bit as far as like the government trying to keep everybody segregated and separated and, fighting amongst themselves, stuff like that. But, that's as far as you go with it because it's just, and I can understand it's be touchy a lot of times, so we don't want to get into all that. We like good conversation, everybody getting along and talking with each other and everything else, and that's what I enjoy. So, guys, I got to work tomorrow as well, so I'm going to let everybody go. Again, thanks everybody for the monetary support. You guys are awesome, and it just helps the channel out. You guys are buying some of the merch. I also appreciate that. A couple of you guys said you bought shirts in here, so I appreciate you. And like I said, any way you guys support the channel is a good thing. It keeps the channel strong, and it just helps everything out. It helps me out. Again, better equipment. In fact, I'm going to upgrade the RAM in this computer from I think it's like 16 gigs, which is kind of sad in this day and age. I'm going to bump it up to 48 gigs of RAM, if not higher. I think I can do up like 196 gigs. So we're gonna really ram this thing to death. Excuse the pun. But yeah, we're gonna, you know, it's all because of you guys. It's support from the channel that helps me do that. So the more we do, the better it helps, and there's better quality stuff. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna let everybody go. Everybody have themselves a great night. You guys are, some of you guys are already into the next day, so have yourself a good weekend regardless. Be safe. Stay away from people. Let's get this COVID down to nothing, even though we believe it's a lot of it's BS and they're inflating it, so to speak. So everybody be cool. Stay safe. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you guys in the next video. And like I said, if we do another hangout, I'll let you guys know in one of the videos coming out. Because like I said, I've got, what is it? I know I've got 1 to 2 Mars, and I got 2 Moon coming up, definitely. So stay tuned for those as well. Anyway, guys, everybody have yourself a good night. Good sharing the time with you guys, and we'll see you soon there, right? You guys are awesome. Peace.